yo, what's up? It's your boy Kaale, Cloud the Wanderer, about to give it to you once again on this Sunday night. And I wanted to do like a topic. So you want to be in a relationship with a female bodybuilder, and I might have some guests so on this topic. But yeah, I have like some clips that I want to discuss on the on the panel if my guests do show up. So I got tired of waiting, so I just started the show. And yeah, but this with this topic, I don't know, sometimes I have mixed feelings with female body and stuff like that. You do desire them, but you're not always sure if you would want to be in a relationship like that. And I notice a lot of guys, they're in, they go all with these women and stuff like that, but it may not be all what it's cracked up to be. So yeah, I got tired of waiting. Okay, this is one of my hey, what's going on?
Up?
Yeah.
Hey, get quiet.
So yeah, give you that applause.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah. So I just decided to do this topic and stuff, and I ain't really had nothing to do with So glad you could come in.
Yeah, so, man. No, I've been off work for a while, so I'm here.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we could start with one of the clips, and you give your thoughts and check it out.
People think that I would want a bodybuilding boyfriend because it's what I do, it's my life, and they're like, oh, that would just make the most sense, wouldn't it? But look, there can only be one self-centered princess in this relationship, and it needs to be me.
What's your thoughts on that?
Oh man, it sounds like she wants to be the center of attention. But as far as I've learned, well, I haven't learned, but I know for a fact that in relationships, it's supposed to be 50-50. She's there for you, you're there for her.
I don't think it's 50-50, but I think I know what you're saying.
Well, yeah, one hand, like washes the other or whatever, like in a relationship.
Yeah.
It's like,
I get it.
It's like being part of a team,
Yeah. I think with me, there's times that, when I hear stuff like that, it's like it's always a focus on them a lot of times. And especially with like your fans, they just so caught up into liking them and stuff. Just even making this content and videos and all that type of stuff is always the focus on them to a point you would get tired of it. I hear stories about some of them, they do have a spouse, and when they start competing, they just don't want to deal with that. The spouse, the husband, they just don't. Some of them, they don't want to deal with it. They like, there was this person that she got a divorce. A lot of them, from what I know, got divorces by it. Just because I think the focus is always on them. So, and the people can't handle it. So yeah.
PC Royce.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, how you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah, we fine. We just playing a clip. I could just play it again since you came.
People think that I would want a bodybuilding boyfriend because it's what I do, it's my life, and they're like, oh, that would just make the most sense, wouldn't it? But look, there can only be one self-centered princess in this relationship, and it needs to be me.
Yeah, so I mean, I was just discussing on this video and stuff, and I was saying that Rolando, he was saying that it needs to be one has to watch the other and stuff like that, and I was saying that the focus is always on them, you know, like like just dealing with like them like doing competitions and all that stuff. Like imagine me marrying a bodybuilder, and and it's because I hear some of them, they do say that you have to you have to go along with their program. One person that told me that, but it seems that it's it's a lot to just to deal with them. That's what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, based on that clip you were just showing, that lady was talking about, like, I think she was being obnoxious on purpose just because it's a TikTok video, but there was, I guess, some truth in it. But you do see a lot of bodybuilding couples, so that's not an uncommon thing. And I think it's because usually one person, usually it's the man, is helping to transform and change the woman. Usually, like muscle dudes or women tend to see some of these muscular guys, and then they want to lean on them to help them transform their own bodies. It's not a lot of vice versa where you see a guy who just is regular getting with a female bodybuilder, and then she turns him into a bodybuilder, unless he's hiring her as a coach. So, but yeah, I think the thing that would probably be the hardest in terms of dealing with them is when it just comes to prepping for the shows and all that. There's a lot that goes into all that with buying equipment. I mean, like the clothing, that stuff costs a lot. Of course, the prep itself, hiring the different trainers. You have an actual coach that's helping them with their routine, on top of the coach that's actually supplying them their nutritional information and all that. And then also, someone was just telling me about some other stuff that they have to go through leading up to it. So there's a lot that they have to juggle with, on top of the fact that they're already got a family, dealing with the kids and all that.
You got headphones? I'm sorry. You got headphones that, because you're kind of, I'm not really getting everything that you're saying.
I have headphones. Let me see if they're going to work.
You hear them, Rolando? I don't know if you hear them entirely.
Oh yeah. I totally hear you. Yeah, 'cause I got mine too. So yeah.
Okay. Let me try to see if I can grab some headphones.
That's just me.
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Now I get what she's saying, Quad. She's basically saying she wants to be the center of attention, but I mean, she's going to get it because she's the woman. So I mean, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah. But
yeah, James Henry, for the title, I do. He's saying he want to be in a relationship with a female bodybuilder.
Yeah,
yeah, that's all the way, George. Yo, if you want to come up, I dropped the link. I DM you on the link, but I could drop it on the post. So anybody want to come up? So go ahead. What you were saying?
Oh, you talking about me, Clark? Yeah. So what I was trying to say is that I was thinking real hard about this since last year, and I want somebody that's, I'm not per se normal, but she's in the gym, but she ain't got to be too much with it. And I started to kind of line off a lot of these female bodybuilders because, just like that, what that lady said, that they are kind of self-centered. They do want the focus to be on them, and once you as a man, once you start just making them a priority and just too much you're giving them too much adoration, or whatever, if that's the correct word. You start getting very jaded, like as a man, because
What you mean jaded?
Well, I don't know if that's the correct word, but you start getting like desensitized. I don't want to say desensitized, but like you just start getting numb. Like, okay, like this is the same old with these women. It's like,
Yeah,
you're trying to get at them, but then you try to act like, if you try to get at them, they play that game where they want to put up these blocks to you because they're not interested in you. But then they might be doing that to guys too. And some of these female bodybuilders, from my understanding is, they want to be single. A lot of them, I guess, because they don't feel like if they get into that relationship with that guy, that they got to do all this stuff, And I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to get at Barbara Majune, but she just kept. And I said, like, you know what?
The thing with some women, they want to be with a man they feel like they're attracted to, and some women it's about preference. Barbara Majune, I actually met her when she was in Tampa. She's not a nice person. I think she already has a boyfriend. Well, I know.
Oh,
so you were out.
Yeah, but see, that's what troubles me, George Page, because they put it like they're single in these videos, and it's like they try to hold that private, or they try to play. I don't know. I get it.
Is that you got to remember this? There are performance. That's the way some of these ladies make their money on the side, because it's like anything. I worked in a strip club. Me and the girls that worked there had husbands and boyfriends. Even one of the girls who worked the club, her husband worked there with us. He knew what she was doing. These women are trying to find something to make a niche and make money, because bodybuilding, there's not, unless you're the top level competitors, especially for women, it's not a very lucrative sport. You don't make as much money, so you have to find ways. So it's like any model or actress. There's a lot of models, actresses who are married and have boyfriends or husbands or wives like that, and they sell a product. They sell an image. And with women bodybuilding, they have a lot harder, because the fact is they are not the everyday average woman. These women have, like, I just did an interview yesterday, a lovely young lady named Maria Beretta, and I just posted from our interview where she talked about how she was in her gym and she was posing, just practicing, because pose is one part of the training. You have to practice posing, and the guy approached her, told her that's fucking disgusting. Now, I don't know, Kay, you saw the interview I did with Maria.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen like the clips of it.
Yeah,
I seen.
And you look at her. She's a beautiful young lady.
Yeah,
and but
go ahead.
But everybody has their preference. That's what it is. It's about preference.
I seen it. I'm like, at first it was like, well, that's crazy, and then I was having like thoughts like maybe he wanted some attention, because if you feel like you're that disgusted, why go through all of that, And then I had another thought. What else thought I had about it? It was another thought. But a lot of these women, they go through that too. Like, I mean, like it's like it's a regular. So I mean, but yeah, this is the thought I had. I mean, they get compliments too. Also, it's not like, you look like a man. They get that comment on that. A lot of them, they get compliments. Like the favorite one is "you're beautiful," and I mean that's the same phrase over and over again. Even when I see like the comments, it'd be like the same thing. So and I mean, like, I was looking at this other bodybuilder. She was doing a competition, and she got like 200 and something likes. I don't even get that shit. Like, I don't even get likes like that on social media. Never have I been in social media have I gotten likes like that. Man. So my thing is that that where they get the negative comments, they're gonna get positive comments. They just pay the positive comments, that they don't put too much emphasis on the positive comments. They get the negative comments and outweighs the positive comments. That's what I see. That's all I'm saying.
The thing is, They get more negative because they're something out of the ordinary, and they appreciate those positive comments. Now, you're not
No, not all of them though, because it's
not
the same
everybody.
shit. It's
Let
like
me talk
looking at it's.
let me
Look,
talk
this is my shit. This is
I
my
know, but
shit.
no, but this is
No,
me.
this is my shit. This is my shit. Stop. They get negative. It's no different than a chick out on the street and a guy paying her attention. It's no fucking different. So you're not gonna tell me all this shit like they special. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Again, we go back
No,
again.
it's not.
Preference. You go back again. Preference. Man on the street would find a woman who looks just like, who's the top female celebrity right now? If you look at it, like that City Sweeney chick. They look at her, and the guys will be drawn to her. But you see someone like BC. He was, we just lost BC. He was over there in Olympia, and he was hanging out doing pictures to people like Patty Hansen and also Marilyn Yee and those women. Like, us guys who are fan of female bodybuilders will find women attractive, but the everyday man would not, because they don't look like what you would see. Like, they're like women with curves, with figures. Some guys like skinny women. Some guys like big women. Like I said again, I worked in a club. Guys have their preference.
Okay, yeah. Brendan want to say something. You want to say something?
He's on mute.
Okay. Oh, my bad. Hold on. Wait. My bad. Say something again. Oh
no.
I think
something with his headphones.
Yeah, your headphones.
They on?
Yeah, take it out. Because I didn't really hear him too well. I was hearing him, but I ain't hear him as much. That's why.
Yeah, but going back to that.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, you get it. Yeah, I hear you a little something.
Let's quickly. No, what's going on now?
Okay, I can hear y'all. So
yeah, we hear you now.
What I was saying is, they're rare, and so I want to echo on both of y'all's points. They do get hit on a lot. Especially when they're at places like those muscle conventions and all that, they do get a lot of dudes that approach them, not always asking them, out and stuff, but most of them, it's funny, whenever you do speak to them, like they do turn around like, oh my God, not another person, not another dude, because they're, even though they have more muscular bodies, there's a lot of men in the world who are attracted to them, who just on the internet don't communicate that. A lot of dudes on the internet who like to say that they look like men and all that, most of those dudes are very weak, like out of shape, like they're very easily intimidated or threatened by a strong woman. So, but even then, some of those dudes who will comment like that online, in person, if they see a woman like that, first off, a lot of them are a lot more curvy than you think. The photos of them do not do them justice. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about when I was at the Olympia a few weeks ago, how some of them, their legs, look big or whatever in pictures, but when you see some of them in person, especially if they're like above 5'6" and they still have proportionally big legs, they are tremendous. Like, I was starstruck by, and I've been to the Olympia several times, but this last time I was just mesmerized by how many of the women there who, I'm about 215 pounds and I do work out, so I'm a pretty solid big dude. And there were several who, you probably put them on the scale next to me, outweighed me by a good 10 to 20 pounds. And I was like, God dang. But when they're not super shredded for contests, they tend to look just more like really, really curvaceous women. When you get closer to them, you can see that they're, muscular and all that. And so I think they do get hit on a lot. Not nowhere near as much as, say, a celebrity would, but how many, even regular fine women, how many of them get hit on at like the same amount as, say, like a Sydney Sweeney? So I do think they get jaded by that. And there's just as humans, we have a propensity to sometimes focus on the negative. Like for me as an artist, I can get 1,000 comments In person, usually I don't get a lot of followers on mine, but in person, people saying, "Oh, you're talented, you're good, you're all this other stuff." But in 1 in 1,000 people, and this roughly is about the proportion, 1 in 1,000 people will be, they'll say something negative about the art. Won't always be like, "Oh, you suck" or something like that, but something negative to make you be like, "Man, what the fuck? Who are you?" Like, like it'll throw you off to where, at least me, I'll start focusing on it for the next several days. Um, I don't get as bent out of shape as probably these girls do, just because I think maybe too many of them are living entirely on by the comments they receive online. But I do know that those negative comments in their minds probably outweigh all the positives. Because I agree with Kaale, they do get way more positive comments than they do negative.
Well, the thing also is that bodybuilding is a fringe sport, and people still see it's about, oh, it's all about steroids, this and that. And then we see women with muscle, that is something that's just not ordinary to them. It kind of offends their senses. And some of these ladies have to deal with, like, especially when they go out in public. Now they will get, now and again, people compliment them and say, "Wow, you look great. How do I get like that?" And then they have to deal with people saying, "Wow, I just don't like it," or whatever. It's like sometimes between women are usually the worst, then older people because they have their ideals. Sometimes the best comments we'll get from maybe younger women who want to maybe get in shape, children who have good hearts, because then you look at your superhero and say, "Wow, you like a superhero." It's always going to be different, like I was saying, different strokes for different folks. But again, there are some amazing ladies, and sometimes, some women can get jaded. Like after a while, you deal with a lot of guys, especially if you do like session work and stuff like that. And, you get jaded a bit. Sometimes you have to deal with a lot of people, how they approach you. But like I said, I remember when I was in Tampa and I met like Ashley Jones, and she's just so sweet and nice. My man Alex was there. He was taking pictures and getting autographs. He had Ashley did a little promo where he said, "Thank you, for nice to meet you, Mr. George. I appreciate it." And that's something that really, for me, really tells me that while I'm doing good work, if someone like that take the time out and give me a shout out. I met Sharonka Hinton. She's a beautiful person. Sharonka just got married to a girlfriend, I think in Vegas, because they were engaged a while back. And I have conversations with some of these ladies, in person and online and on the phone. Just had a talk with a lady. She just turned bikini pro about this summer, and we're gonna do an interview this coming weekend. And I really, from the stories I've heard and the stuff we have talked about, and yes, there's some ladies have dealt with that. You know what? Like one person that most definitely I met in person, and I did not really like her. And this is, KL is a name I do not speak on my channel because you know her.
You talking about Stephanie Fletcher?
Yes, I do not speak her name. You can speak it, but I don't speak it. And what the stuff she did and her personality, what I heard from other people that tell me this is a person, like, I know a friend told me how, this is a true story. He told me a story how just before she switched over to women's bodybuilding, and she was saying that there's no beautiful women in bodybuilding. She was in physique and say, yeah. And she was saying in front of two ladies, both I've seen and one I met in person, Alina Popo and Linda Murray. And those are, if you ever see those two women up close and personal, those are beautiful.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, James, tell me how you doing, man?
Hey, Jim.
Hey.
Right. Say what you were saying.
No, I said that meeting people like Linda Murray and Lena Popa, those are beautiful women, and I think it's all up about the personality of the man. If you're secure in yourself, like I remember when I met Christine Ware, who I did an interview with, her husband was there, her daughter was there at the show, and he loves to support his wife. He's there for her. Keith and Tina, they be on my lives every so often. They have a great relationship. They're both bodybuilders. And then you have cases where I think we interviewed the same lady one time where she told me that, remember she told us that her husband got divorced because he didn't like her being a bodybuilder. Yeah,
let me read got from Lawrence Perkins. What's up, KLA and everyone? How you doing, Lawrence Perkins? Ain't heard from you in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody got more comments to it?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, we're dealing with the modern women. They've just been, and now a lot of guys just don't. I mean, me personally, and I've been around a lot of guys who say this. I don't even approach them. I don't even want to approach them because I already know what I'm going to get, and it's not like you're giving up. You just know a lot of these women are just they probably been like George said, they've been through a lot. They're tired of men, just want to be single, and that's why
You
I'm not
talking
saying
about
I'm a
bodybuilders or
yeah,
just
just
women in
bodybuilders,
general?
women in general, because
I,
I'm seeing this in both places now. It's like just modern women thinking now. They don't even really want a man. They just they're too picky. You know what I mean? It's like even with these female bodybuilders. That's why I'm good. I'm good.
well, you can't say about us guys because sometimes we're picky too. We like I said, the one true woman I love, I'm always gonna say this is my mom. And sometimes I measure every woman in my life. Like I said, I never really had relationships. I had relations. I had fun with some ladies who had a good time. We did what we did. And I remember as they told me, said, son, as long as you live with your mama, always come back home to your mama. That's what I did. But as a man, when I had a good time. Now in my life, I feel like, what, I should have really put myself out there. I was working a lot. I had 2 jobs. I was working, was busy. And plus I live in a small town. Not a lot of places, I didn't want to be fun. I actually run into somebody, hey, find out, hey, we're cousins, no, that case. But I think every woman has their preference. And some of these ladies don't want this. Some of them just sometimes they don't want to deal with the shit like with any person. But some of these ladies would like to find somebody, just have to be comfortable with what they do and who they are. That's the part that is, and all women are going to be different. No, not everybody's going to be the same. Sometimes you're going to have to, like you say to a lady, sometimes you got to kiss a lot of frogs to get to your prince. And sometimes we have to guys maybe kiss a few, snakes before we find our queen.
What does that mean?
No, I know what he's saying. You got to go through like a bunch of women that you're not really that interested in, or women who you thought were good and turned out to be way less than what you're expecting, or just not even decent people, before you finally find the few good ones that are right and compatible for you. Because I'm super picky too. Like my pickiness has caused me to be single a lot throughout my life, because I'm attracted to mainly muscular women, but thicker, curvy, muscular women. And also I like taller or bigger women. So it's very hard to find women who meet all 3 of those criteria. And then I will say one of the things that did change, because I've dated and had little flings with now 5 total muscular women in my life. And after the first one, it did change me to where I no longer, like, I've had, instances where I'm caressing and making love to regular women, but I actually miss some of that strong firmness that you get from a buff woman. Some of them were female bodybuilders or former competitors. Others are just girls that really like to lift at a gym. And for me, that is a way different feeling. I guess it's also the idea that they can do much more powerful things than a regular woman that so turns me on. That said, I will notice one of the things that's been very interesting, when I used to really try to, I feel like with women, if you're too much in hunt mode as a guy, women have a sixth sense where they can sense that. And I think it turns most of them off, where they're kind of like it's like you're too interested in me, you're too attracted to me, you're too trying to holler at me, and you're making the whole world and all of existence about me. If you've ever noticed, I don't know if this is the same with you all, but a lot of times when you're not hunting for women and you're just doing your own thing, for instance, like whenever I'm around muscular women and I'm not just super trying to go and talk to every single one of them, when I'm actually sitting there drawing and like focusing more on business stuff, then I'll occasionally get one that comes up and talks to me, or she really sees something that I'm doing and is like, hey, like that's really cool that you do that, blah blah blah. Then we start talking, and I realize, oh, she's super cool. You want to go on a date or something? And then boom, say yes, and then things happen after that. It's I've never had it to where I went to say a bodybuilding show or a convention or something, and my main goal was to be like, I'm gonna go and meet a new muscular woman to go take out on a date. I've never had that happen and then it work out to where that's what happened. Usually it's always been, I'm gonna go there to promote my art, go meet some people, have some fun, and then as a side note from that, it sometimes happens. Not always, it's still rare. But I've also noticed it too with regular women when I'm at places, like say, especially at a club. Before, when I used to go to clubs and my main goal was to go try to dance on girls, to go eventually sleep with them later on, my success rate would be a lot, much lower. And I don't mind saying that just because I think a lot of guys inflate their success rate. But when I would go to clubs and actually just be sitting there drawing and letting the music and the vibe just put me in a good spot, I'd have several different women, like beautiful ones, come up and be like, hey, draw me, blah, blah, blah. And then you turn it into, some talking and maybe a date or hanging out afterwards. So I started to realize it's like women react to you being just like chill and present, still having your options, and you're still hunting in a way, but not where it's like, this is my only goal. And my only goal right now is to go and bang a bunch of beautiful women. I think they sense that and they get turned. And I think the muscle women have a super strong sense for that, which is why they get super turned off by dudes and think that they're all creepy.
Yeah, because they're they do testosterone, and then their libido is a little more heightened, just like if it was like a man's. And sometimes what BC just said, Royce just said, talk about how women like to be. You find if women have something they draw them into, it's like, if they see like he's not, these other guys are chasing you, sitting off to the side, you're doing his drawing, and women are like, wow, let me check him out. And it's like, so they gotta do like that. How Dave Chappelle like, gotcha, bitch. So
Yeah, but the thing, I agree. I don't know about that. All I know is that if you don't say nothing, they're not gonna say anything. So that sounds cool, but you got to put yourself out there. If you don't put yourself out there, maybe they're not the ones for you. You don't have to be thirsty, but if they're not interested in you, you could always go talk to another woman that's going to catch your interest. Because no woman is special, yo. It doesn't matter if it's female bodybuilder or not. Like, there's always going to be an attractive woman for you to talk to. Because I speak to women too, and a lot of them ignore me. They don't respond. Some of them do. So if they sense that, that's up to them. If they want to respond to it, I think. Because the guys be so thirsty, that's what turns them off.
Yeah, and Clyde, that's why I told you when you and George do these things and interview these women, I don't really want to get on because I'll show appreciation, but I just got to the point now. I'm like, okay, it's a little bit too much.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's
why I don't really pull up as much because I got my energy into other things like the travel space, passport bro type stuff. I'm not gonna lie because I said, well, this ain't really my lane. It was my lane when I was a kid because it was fascinating. I was going through puberty, but now at a point I'm like, still get turned on, but I'm like, I'm not trying to anticipate anything from it, And I just want them to know that not all the guys that like female bodybuilders are all trying to just, what my man here had a chance to do. I haven't never a chance to do, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But that there are good dudes out here who are non-bodybuilders. Because I'm still tripping off Amy Muscle. What happened to her? And I'm like, and some of these white dudes are off the hook, but yet they want to be with these white guys. And I'm like, okay, You know,
Well,
you ain't trying the brothers. Because I think she would have been better off with a brother, in my opinion.
well,
Because
here's
we
the thing
know,
is, it's
I don't
it's
know.
it's about that man. Whatever
Yeah.
issues between him and her, and
Mm.
he either could have just, you know what, let me go about our business. You know, you go your way, you go mine. Some guys, especially if a situation where it's domestic violence, domestic abuse, they want
Mm.
control. My mother,
Mm.
her and my father, we went through it. Even though they were still married legally, he went his way. She went her way, and she took care of us. My sister went through it. Sometimes
Mm.
it's about control, and what he did was just whatever reason he felt like he needed to do. Then he started to kill himself, knowing what he did was wrong. Most times, the guys who do it, they usually, hey, I'm going off to jail. Some guys, it's just like, I did something wrong, and I don't want to deal with it. So it's easy for me to take myself out. And he knew what his wife was doing because he was involved with it. It wasn't not like he
Yeah.
wasn't ignorant of it. He was involved in it. He was a performer sometimes. He recorded her stuff. He did making money. And whatever situation was going on, I think she probably wanted more control in her life. He wanted control because, hey, I know people told me that about this guy because they knew him because he used to live in Florida. He used to have his own, I think it was a supplement store. He was a cool, But sometimes you don't really know somebody until you live with them. What happened with Amy, it was just awful, and when I talk about it, post on my social media, some ladies reach out to me and ask me what's going on, what they know. Some people that knew her told me some stuff here and there. And I said, wow, I mean, it's just sad. I mean, she had amazing potential. Too bad she didn't get the opportunity to show that off. I even interviewed a couple ladies that was under, they had the same coach, and he was really sad because he was, they were good friends, and it was somebody he lost and hated losing, and it kind of affected him. But
Yeah, y'all throwing me off with the Amy Muscle stuff. I'm sorry.
Well,
I
no,
don't
I'm
really.
not. What I was,
I don't know what that is either.
what I'm saying is a lot of guys
about relationships, because sometimes some women, like many ladies I've interviewed, they have been through bad relationships.
Nobody never really knew her. Like, I don't think nobody in the panel knew her, so we don't know the situation, what they was really dealing with. That's just me. I don't know.
Right. We don't want to speak on
but I look at it from
it's just like I said, what he did was just, we don't know the situation, but still, it's not right how it happened. You can never say, but then everybody's gonna have their point of view and their standpoint of it. It's just like I said again. I've talked quite a few ladies who have dealt with that, with being in relationships that were violent. And
I just think a lot of women pick those guys straight up. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
They do, but then again, no one expects that the person you're supposed to fall in love with is the person that's gonna hurt you the most.
Yeah, well, I mean, George, they already had her family come out and say that she was scared of this guy, and I just don't know women why they drawn to such violent dudes. It's happening too much. I mean,
well, the thing is, it's about they found something that were attracted about that man at that time, and then either they just feel like they couldn't live without him, because sometimes, if you ever seen somebody who's gone through a relationship that was abusive, it's like being Stockholm syndrome. You've heard that, where you're being a hostage for so long to somebody, you don't think you can do better, or you think or it's just, that's the thing is, it's a lot when it goes to it. It can go either way, either side, but most of the time it's more often with men, because we do have the control and whatever. Like, we're the ones who make sure you bring in the home to bacon, make sure the home's take care of we want you to play your role, and then sometimes it all takes like one bad day, and
Let me read the comments, please. Let me read the comments. I know, bro, been busy and family. Okay. Some are single by choice to focusing on loving themselves as well too. Then he says, exactly well said, George. Great breakdown, BC Royce, and that's true. And James Henry said, BC Royce, true facts.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna play another video.
Okay, so all y'all men say you want a fit girl. You know, a woman who takes care of herself, is strong, active, fit, healthy. But is that what men really want? Because I don't think that you actually understand what that is you're signing up for. Here's the deal, because your fit woman is going to be waking up at the butt crack of dawn because she has a workout to get to. Which means that she is not going to be staying up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning watching a movie with you. And you want her to cook for you, right? You do understand what a fit girl eats, right? It's not mac and cheese and potatoes. And I hope you're good with your hands. And no, I'm not talking about that. Get your mind out of the gutter. A sister is always sore, so get ready to rub the back, the quads, everything. And are you ready for the biggest kicker? She's gonna expect you to do all the healthy things with her.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm saying that because
that is 100% true.
I can tell you the
Except
truth.
the whole waking up, like some of them don't all wake up at 5 and 6 in the morning, or do they expect you to do it? Like, I'm not one of those early morning guys. I go and generally get my workouts in at 11 a.m. or 5, 6 p.m. The bodybuilding girls I've dated, they were the ones that like to wake up and work out at 4 or 5 in the morning. I'd be asleep while they're working out. You know, that's just, there's a trade-off. But in terms of you eating, so I'm not a bodybuilder and I have no aspirations to become one. One girl did ask me if I wanted to compete, and I was like, hell no, not with that diet and stuff that y'all, that cutting and all that, cutting out all the carbs and stuff. I'm like, no. But they do expect you to do some level of meal prepping alongside of them. They do like that you're at least eating somewhat healthy. Okay, occasionally I'll eat my chicken and broccoli and egg whites and all that other stuff and have my protein shakes throughout the day. But I'll also, because I'm not a competitor, have myself some Skittles sometimes at night or something like that. They're okay with that because they know, okay, you're still taking care of yourself. But yeah, if you were just eating like straight up slob all the time, first off, it's too tempting for them to be around that all the time. And they're going to want to cheat if they see you eating garbage food all the time. So then when they throw off their meals, their meal prep by eating something unhealthy because you've been sitting there eating garbage all day, they do get mad at you for throwing off their diet, you know, because it's basically like, you know, they're playing in the devil's playground. So that's why you won't see, there's plenty of female muscle women. I don't want to just limit it to female bodybuilders, but bikini girls and physique women, wellness girls don't date male bodybuilders, but you will see them date guys who are active. And it doesn't mean that they're just guys that lift weights a lot. It could be like martial arts or something. They want some kind of guy, or some guys who just sometimes run a lot. They want someone who's active and also has some like ability to moderate their diet and show discipline, because that's stuff that they're having to do all the time. So it's very rare, extremely rare that you're going to get. I think I remember 2 competitors that I've met in out of all the conventions and fitness events and bodybuilding shows I've been to. I know 2 competitors, female competitors, who were married to guys who just didn't work out or all that, but those dudes were also super rich. Like, other than that, you're gonna have to. And when you were saying about you want to put yourself out there, so when it comes to approaching like most girls, the average guy is gonna go to like bars or clubs to go put himself quote unquote out there. When it comes to muscle women, the 2 places you're gonna meet them most at, the gym and at these fitness conventions. And that's actually where I've been able to get my dates. Most of mine have actually come from the fitness convention, but a few from the actual gym itself. A lot of girls who are at gyms, though, tend to be very on guard for dudes approaching.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you something? I don't mean to cut you. Like you were saying, like when you draw, you know, they come to you. Do you do it intentionally, or you just be doing it, and you know, you just go with the flow?
Well, first off, drawing is how I make my income. So I get paid most of the year by drawing people's faces, but a few times during the year I do get paid to do muscle drawings because certain competitors in the past who've seen me will reach out. Sometimes fans, like I did one of Linda Murray recently. A fan saw me at the convention and asked me that he hired me on the spot to draw. So it's business first, but then so the very first 2 dates that I got with Muscle Women was I was sitting at my booth. One was at was in Lake Tahoe from the same company that does the Legion Sports Fest. I was there marketing my art and all that, and then one girl who was a competitor came up, spoke to me, and I could tell by the way she was lingering around, she was really interested in me. She wasn't just interested in the art. So then I basically just was like, you seem like a cool girl. You want to, hang out, go grab a bite to eat later on. And we did. And then we went, had some more fun after that. The second time it was at a Wings of Strength event, and I was still doing the drawings and actually promoting my stickers. I had made Muscle Women stickers. And so one of the ladies, she did a very clever way of basically showing me she was interested. She had walked by my table. I had made eye contact with her, but I couldn't tell that she was interested in me. I just thought she was looking at the table. So what she did was one of her friends bought some stickers from me. And what she did was she put the sticker on one of her containers, and then she tagged me in it. And there's a lady that I didn't follow. She's very high level in the sport. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's dope. But then later on, when we went to, there was an after party for the Wings of Strength show, and it was one of their May ones, in Valley of the Sun. And at the small after party, this same lady came up to me, and I was just sitting at the after party, kind of drawing and talking with some people, because some people were like, oh, that's really cool that you're doing that. And then she actually came up to me, and we spoke, and then turned it into a date, and turned into like a mini relationship, because we saw each other several times after that. And then the most recent time when I was at the Olympia, I actually I saw a woman that I was super attracted to. And I basically went up to her and was like, hey, you want to take a picture holding one of these stickers that I made? And she was like, yeah, I love this. She was like, it's really cool, because she had a really thick, buff physique, and she liked the thick boxer girl stickers I was making. And so then I was basically like, you kind of have like a physique similar to him. I was like, would it be cool if I drew you as one? And she was like, heck yeah. And so I said, well, tomorrow I'm going to be back here again at the show. Do you want to link up and take a picture with it? And she was like, yeah. So then we did. And then I was like, you know what? This isn't really done. Like, I had just done a pencil sketch of it. I said, but if you give me time, I can really make this super dope. I can make it look like really, really clean. I said, how about if I meet you, it was like later on tonight after the main Olympia show? And I said, I'll have it printed and all that stuff. So she said, yeah. I went ahead and did that. We met again during the Olympia show, the finals. And she loved the picture, took a video and all the stuff with it. And then that's when I was like, you know what? Like, if you're going to be here for another day, I'd like to go take you around Vegas and let's go hang out and stuff. And so we did, and I ain't gonna lie, it was one of the best dates I've ever had. So I'm hoping I'll get to see her again in the future, but we live far away from each other. But I will say one of the things that made this whole thing work, I think, is that I kind of went to these expos with a work mindset, but I also turned it into fun. I was like, let me find ways to use my art to play around with these women, to let them get to know a little bit of me and to make it exciting. And in those moments, that's where like it turns into an adventure, and then it's turned for me into a successful date.
Rolando.
Hey, BC. Yeah, no, yes, yeah. Now, I just wanted to ask, hey, so if you're not even just creating, you just chilling and you just go in there, I'm not saying you will get with something, but can you actually just be cool and just shoot the short with them and then
yes.
Okay.
I see it happen all the time. So these conventions, it's not expected, but I think there is an unspoken truth that a lot of these people are going there scoping out other fine, sexy, muscular people to hang out with, um, because there are plenty of after parties, especially at the big shows, and then a lot of these competitors and like influencer people, they trade connections with each other at the parties, at the after parties. You'll have regular guys. There's one guy that I see all the time. His name is Bobby. He is on a first name basis with a lot of the female competitors because he's been to so many expos and shows. He's an older guy, and he's a brother, but I think he's a super cool, down to earth dude to chill with. But he'll go to these things by himself, and I go to them generally by myself. But he'll go to them, and he'll meet new people there, or like he's a friend like with one of the competitors who's seen him before, and then she turned around and waved to me. I had no idea who she was, and I was like, oh wow, she's fine. Like, and I was like, I could have used that as a way to open up and start talking to her. I missed my shot. I was actually so thrown off by it that I what's it called? Had my just missed it. But it that happens too. When you put yourself out there with these shows and stuff, you will get quote unquote rejected, and the form of rejection is going to be the same as most others, where they just kind of like turn away or just be like, I don't want to, like I don't want to talk, or they start being really avoidant. That's going to happen. There's no. And what's funny is the last girl that I dated with, before I had gone up to her with the stickers, there was one right before that I went up to and tried to get her to take a picture with the stickers. And she basically was like, oh, I don't want to take no pictures with no over sexualized. Like, I'm not into all that, like, hentai type stuff. And I'm like, this isn't hentai. I'm like, like, these are the stickers. And I asked her if she would take a picture holding one of them.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's like, that's over sexualized. And I was like, all right, whatever. She's just making up an excuse. I was like, whatever, that's fine. Literally turned away from her and found the other girl. And I was like, boom.
Yeah, because
that's how it works sometimes.
Yeah, because I saw he was there with pictures he posted. He had Marilyn Yee, he had Natalia Correjo, a couple other ladies there. It's about most definitely it's about the woman themselves. If there are women who are interested, and you find you interesting. Like when I was, while I was at Tampa, I was sitting talking to one lady. She's Amy. She's fit model. And I was sitting at the area where I was charging my phone. She was sitting there, she was eating that, and I talked to her a bit. She's married and she has a husband, but we talked for a bit, and we did an interview, and she's really cool, keep in contact. Also, it's about if the woman feels comfortable. They generally, women, especially in this sport, they have to deal with a lot of stuff here and there and stuff like that. The thing of it also with relationships, like me, I'm a country boy. I used to get up early in the morning anyways. Old habits sometimes die hard, but I can see how when the young ladies talk about how the whole thing, everyone is different. Like the woman I mentioned earlier, Christina, she loves cooking because she has a husband and a daughter. She will cook cakes and cookies, and she loves watching her family eat it, even though she knows she can't eat it. And then you got the ones who do have kids and family, and the kids don't always eat prep food. They like to eat their mac and cheese and the chicken nuggets. They will cook 2 meals for their children and cook a meal for themselves. It's about navigating life, not just as a woman, but also a parent, a wife, a mother. There's so many things that involved with it. And they have to, walk that fine line, being both a woman, being an athlete, and try to find a center. And then, and I think with the ones who are single, some single by choice, some single because it's hard to find somebody who's comfortable with what you're doing. That's why more often guys, when we see guys date, their girlfriends are in shape, or their girlfriends like any regular woman. Maybe she may not work out, but she's still a woman. She's still attractive. It's easier for men compared to women because again, women are doing something that's not very considered feminine. putting on muscle and size. It's just that's how the world works.
It's kind of changing nowadays. Like people are growing more and more accustomed to seeing muscular women, not female bodybuilders, because that's an extreme. But if you're just talking about women who have more of a Wonder Woman type of build, that, especially in San Diego where I live, that is becoming a lot more common. There's a lot of women who go to the gym and build up a lot of muscle, but because they're doing it naturally, they just look very curvy, like statuesque women. And I think society is starting to change to where within the next 20 years, I don't think female bodybuilding will ever become like a super popular thing. But in 20 years, I could see muscular women being considered just more of like a norm in society, a rare norm, but not like
no. Like
I'm not talking about female bodybuilders. I'm talking about
muscle. I know we're talking about your muscle, but not female bodybuilders, but muscle women. You're on the West. I'm here in the South. We are not gonna. Those women are not gonna be as because we're different areas. Every region is gonna be different. The South.
I'm from Texas, though. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and Texas,
that's still close to the West. That's the closest to the West.
Texas is not the West. Texas is still the South, buddy. Texas is still the South.
It's adjacent, but it's not.
But I'm gonna say that Texas is still part of the South because it's still not that far from Louisiana. Like Louisiana's right next. I got a lot of family from Louisiana, and anyway, Texas is a huge muscle Amazon woman capital. Like, because women there generally just tend to be bigger, period, than most other places in the world, actually. And just people in general. But of course, with the women being that, and then over the last 20 years, just different levels of what you have strongman, you have CrossFit, all this other stuff popping up. Those places that have like an already somewhat athletic, muscular woman template, like places like Utah are an example of that. Like the women out in Utah are all like 6 feet tall, and they don't have like a bodybuilding culture there yet, but you can see it is going to start eventually picking up. And eventually I could see a place like Utah in 20 years being the haven where you go to see women who are like 6 feet tall, 200 pounds muscle, like Wonder Woman, She-Hulk type builds. Because
but then you got to think about places like New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois. Like I said, every region is going to be different. It's up to the person if they are interested in getting the fitness. Some ladies are not into it. Most ladies say like, if I pick 10 pounds of weight, I'm gonna be Beth Francis. No, you're not. If you just get in shape to help.
I don't even think they know who Beth Francis is.
I'm just saying that. You mean I mean? That's just saying that. That's the mindset of the everyday woman is like they want to get toned, but if you don't already have muscle, you can't be toned. If you don't already have it there, if you don't work out and train, Texas has become a growing mecca because again, it has that influence from farther away, like California. You see a lot of I know quite a few ladies who left California, Arizona, moved to Texas because it's cheaper to live down there because it is adjacent to the South. South is cheaper to live in than like New York or California or some other states because the cost is high. That's why you see a lot of
there's some points. I couldn't agree on both of y'all. I think a lot of women, they do work out and stuff. They don't not trying to be a bodybuilder. But a lot of women, they on social media and they got their own, page, IG page and stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't think that, I don't see it like bodybuilding. Like, I don't know if I'm off topic, but I don't see it as, to a point where, what I'm trying to say, you don't know what's going to happen 20 years from now. Because if that's the point, I think a lot of people would accept, muscular women. Like some of them, they have like this disgusted look. I had a friend that said that, looking at muscular women, it turns them off. They don't want a woman that's hard. They want a woman that's soft. So
That's true. That's true.
yeah,
I'm kind of
each his
edging
own.
more back to it.
And you don't have
You know
to
what's
be
funny,
a
though?
bodybuilder, or you can, girls in bikini are well developed. Even, some girls I've seen in other divisions where they're not as muscular built because it's just a certain amount of muscle. If it's just any kind of muscle, it's just like you say, you got great abs, your shoulders are a little well defined, you got nice glutes. You don't have to be as big as Shaw, Natalia Cuejo, or even Sid Gillen. I remember Kay, we talked about this one girl, Jessica. She's a bikini competitor, but the girl is built and cut. She can do figures she wants. If the interview with Maria, as I said again, she's nice, attractive, nice shape, but because she has some form of muscle, it kind of offends the everyday sense of a man when you see one with muscle, even if it's just not, and I think not the level of a female bodybuilder, a women's bodybuilder, or a physique competitor. It's just that you have a certain amount of muscle. And most men, like I said, I'm from the South. Men like women a little more round, a little softer. Some guys like women who are a little skinny, a little smaller. It's about variety, and taste up to the men. Women, they have their preference, and the thing is, it's about, with anything, it's about preference. If you're comfortable with this, that's good. If you're not, you're not. Like, one of the things I've seen sometimes when I just post some pictures, because there's a show coming up this weekend actually. And that's two shows actually. One is in Las Vegas, the Steve Carr show. And
I missed that.
Yeah. And also there's one in Romania. And when I posted who's gonna be at the show, guys will like talk about the girls, yeah. And then I have guys who might do comments and say, I don't want something like that. That's too much. Okay, that's not your preference. You don't have to say anything. Like, I also got a visual voice. If you ever get a chance to, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, they say that's a great expo. There's a lot of competitors. Now, it's also a mix of, you have, power lifters, you have, also they do like pole dancing. You have a lot of different variety of athletes there. Not as many because, they don't have competitive women's bodybuilder other than the amateur shows. That'd be a great show if you want to check out. Maybe do some.
Did you say the Arnold? I've been to the Arnold twice.
Yeah, you've been to
I've done
Arnold.
I've done Arnold 2 times. I've done art at the Arnold twice. That is the best expo in the world. Honestly, you all should all come to that expo because you're gonna see. To me, you get to see a different variety of muscle women. Like, I think the older I'm getting, the less female bodybuilders are attractive to me. Like, I used to rave over them in my middle school, high school, and young adult years. But once I've started to see in person the CrossFit muscle physique, the strong woman muscle physique, the power lifters, and the athletic women like shot put throwers and stuff like that. Girls who aren't in a quote unquote muscle sport, but they're doing some strong strength stuff. When you see them in person, and even some of these influencers, they look way better than the female bodybuilders. And up close, some of them are way bigger and even more muscular.
Hey, but can I say something? And I know one too that's real popular, and I like her too. Her name is Danny Spiegel. Is that her name? Danielle Spiegel?
Yeah.
She's here in San Diego. She's here in San Diego.
Okay. Woo. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
She is fine, bro. I was doing art one time at this gym out here called Grinders Gym. And there's hardly anyone at that gym. And she randomly showed up because she was there to work out and bring her some of her CrossFit buddies. And I was just blown away by how thick and how freaking. I was sitting down and she walked right by my table. Just be sitting down and to see, that walk by. I was like, God damn. These pictures do not do her justice, bro. Yeah. When you see some of these women in person, you're like, bro, you're like, lady, can you give me a piggyback ride? Like, seriously, like they are freaking tanks, man. It's
CrossFit women are just another different level.
Yeah, bro. Like Kiki Vice, like seeing her in person. She's super tall. She's 5'10", 5. Like she's. I think she's the same height as me. Yeah, and seeing her legs, how huge. Like on pictures, they look huge, but seeing them in person, you're like, God dang, this is a horse. This is not a human being. Like, but for me, I was like, these ladies. And then what's cool is some of them. This Kiki was super cool and chill, like very approachable. Like some of them, the ones that you kind of think would be more, they're too pretty, too popular, and they should be more standoffish. It was surprising to see how approachable some of them are. Then there's others that, of course, are like, ugh. And then some of them just like, you're ugly anyway. Why do you think you're like, you think just because you're a competitor that you're like top dog? And I'm like, there's a lot of these other women walking around here that put you to shame.
Yeah, that's Michelle Flett. That was when I was at Tampa. She's a bikini pro, and you know, she's. Can you believe this woman is 60 years old?
No, I
she's
thought
60. She ain't 60. I was 50. She's in the
50. Yeah, she's 50. I thought she said, okay. And you wouldn't think. She's a mother. She has a son. You know, this woman. She's a nice lady. You know, you wouldn't think this. You know, you look at this woman, and people say that, well, that's too much muscle.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah. She's,
yeah, she's an attractive woman. She's a
nice lady. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and see, and the one that George bet, cool. You know, if they cool and I'm vibing, and yeah, I'm gonna put myself out there. It's not like I'm saying that. I just need somebody that I can vibe with. You know, that's all. It doesn't give me a bad attitude because I'll
tell you the ones that are more laid back is the strong women. The strong women, like those type of competitors, they don't get a lot of attention. I think muscle, like the bodybuilders and all those, actually get more attention than the strong women do. So the strong women also tend to be more of a quiet. They're kind of shy, but when they're around their pack, when it's all those big giant Vikings, like going and getting a beer with all of them, especially once they see your face and get to know you, they are a much cooler crowd to hang around with. It's easier to, they don't take themselves as serious. And a lot of those guys who are in the strongman, a lot of those guys are nerds. Like we're talking about more nerdy than any of us, all four of us. Like they'll, I know a lot about Star Wars lore and stuff like that, but some of them, when they saw that I was drawing, they started bringing up different like mythologies and other stuff, and I'm deep into all that. But I was like, dang, bro, you know way more about this stuff than me. I'm like, you're a straight up nerd. You're a geek.
That's crazy.
Many of them were like that, but then they got into weightlifting because they want to change their body and change their look. And some are just regular guys, just like lifting weights, and then they got into the powerlifting, the strongman stuff. And many of them do. Like the lady I interviewed a while back, her boyfriend, he does strongman. I know one lady, her husband does some powerlifting stuff, but he's planning on doing a bodybuilding competition next year because they're in a relationship. They love, she supports him and he supports her. That's the most important part when you find somebody who's in the sport, if they can support what you're doing. Because like I said again, this is a tough sport. It's a sport that can take a lot of your time, your money, your energy. Some days that you get home, especially if you have a job. Some ladies, they have full-time jobs, and they have to find time to work out and train, come home, and especially if the ones who have like Tina, she runs a restaurant and a bar, and she still is a mom. She got just saw a video of her taking out their 5-year-old adopted son out together. Caden, he's 5 years old. Just went trick or treating. They go to Chiefs games together. Her and Keith. And you have to find time to be a woman every now and then. Go out, chill out, enjoy your life, and then also just be open to people who are interested in you. Yes, you're gonna have a few guys that are gonna be a little bit either overly interested in you or guys who might be kind of like offended by who you are as a woman. It's not, and each of us have different reaction, but like I said, each woman's going to be different.
Yeah,
That's true. And
say
you
this
know what?
Go ahead. Say what you got, say, Rondo.
Oh yeah, no, just
Hello?
real brief. Nah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Y'all still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh. I thought I got muted. No. But I'm just saying, I 100%, agree with him. What George just said. Yeah.
All right.
You got to take them, single-handedly as they come. Like she's cool, she's not. Yeah. But hey, Royce, I gotta hit you up, man, so I can go to one of those, man. I just gotta go just one time.
I
Yeah.
talked to Kaale quite a bit, so I was trying to encourage him to come out here for this last Olympia. I was telling him, I was like, bro, I want somebody else to come join me at one of these, because I'm like, I do love going to them by myself, because I mean, they are fun, man. Like it's
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't, not to cut you off. I don't mind going, but I get paid every 2 weeks and just save the money and stuff like that. But that's come like in October. Like how much to get over there? Because I'm in Brooklyn, and like
I'm gonna tell you my total expenses. So I drove. So because I'm in San Diego, so Las Vegas is a 5-hour drive. Gas for me, I do have an SUV. So gas on the way over there, I had to do one fill up. That was what was it? $70.
It took you 4 hours, right, to get over there, right?
Yeah, because I was talking to you on the way over there.
Yeah.
And you helped me basically. I talked to you the entire time to get over there. Yeah, it was funny. We had a good talk, but yeah, it was $70 to get over there. Then I do Airbnbs, and I find some nice ones. And my Airbnb cost on average was $55 a night, and I did 3 total nights. Initially, I just did 2, but I got that late with that one lady I was telling you about, so I ended up extending it another night. So that 55 times 3, that was 110, 165. Plus 70 to get over there. That's 235 plus another 70. That puts it at 305. And I also paid for the actual expo. So I did a 2-day pass, which was when you do the 2-day special, it was much more discounted. It was like, I think maybe, what was it, like, I want to say maybe it was $65, $70, something like that. So total, I spent about $370. Now I didn't go into the show. I did get into the VIP party. I was able to sneak into that. Usually, I've been able to get into the VIP because I usually do art for someone like a Wendy Fortino or something like that, and then they'll give me a guest pass. And I tried to get one from her this last time, but she didn't have one, and so I just basically snuck in with her because she didn't have hers, but everyone knows who Wendy Fortino is.
Yeah, Wendy, yeah.
So I basically just walked in with her to the after party, and then boom, was able to chill at that. But I didn't go to the actual show, although one of the other ladies, that's another thing. So being able to draw these women, you do it, you get perks sometimes. So one of the other ladies was going to give me one of her tickets to go into the show with her. I just showed up super late because I don't actually care to watch the competitors on stage. It gets boring to me. I actually just like finding new people either to draw or to take pictures with or talk to and stuff like that. Sometimes the most fun thing to me, this is why I say it's like an adventure, is while the shows are going on, going and hanging around the strip, going and walking around all those, and then come back to the show because it's so long. You can go do the strip and then come back to the show and it's still going on. And then, boom, go to the after party and stuff afterwards. Because what happens is once you go to enough of these, you're going to start to come across people you know. And then y'all click up. And a lot of times, because people are more social at those, you sometimes meet random strangers and be like, oh, I don't know how to get to this place. Can I follow you? Blah, blah, blah. And then you do. And on the way you're talking, and y'all become buddies, basically. That happens quite a bit. So I don't know. I can't hype up those shows enough.
Yeah.
I've been
What?
probably now 5 total Olympias and 2 Arnold, and then other stuff has been smaller, but those really big ones do make a big difference. So to answer your question, Kaale, I think I spent total about $400 on
400. No.
400.
And with me, I went to Tampa, and I was always saving some money because I had to want to do some put some work on my car. But after a while, I said, you know what, forget that car. And Eunice, she was gonna run her booth up there for the expo. And my plan was I didn't want to let her know, so I told David from Female Body Performance that I'm gonna come up there. I'm right now. I guess because I only get paid once a month. Just got my check Friday. Because usually if the pay date falls on the weekend, you get it the Friday before the regular pay. Like if I get it the 3rd, I get it. My bank was sent to me on a Friday, so because they want to give me a couple of days. So I had like a few $100s saved. So I had to get a train trip. When I put in because I took a train, and the train station is Amtrak is in South Carolina. So I bought a ticket and I forgot to buy it for a round trip. I actually bought a one-way, so I had to buy another ticket for the round trip back. Found a motel. It was extended stay. It was $67, and I stayed for. Well, the plan was I was going to stay that. I was going to be there that Thursday because you was going to compete in the master show, and I was going to stay that Thursday, that Friday, and that Saturday, and leave that Sunday. But the problem was the train back to North Carolina, back to South Carolina, the line was going to be closed. So I said I was going to leave that Saturday afternoon because I want to stay a little longer, hang around a little bit, check out some of the competitors, talk with some ladies, maybe do some interviews. So I had to leave that Saturday afternoon. Okay, the student stay was about 3 days, so that's like about $6 or $7 a night. So and then I don't drive, so I'm doing Ubers. But David was kind enough to pick me up one day to take me to the Friday because I was going to watch the finals so I bought a ticket for the Masters where they do the finals and the prejudging together. So it's $100 right there. And depending where you sit at, you sit in a regular seat, it's $100. You sit in VIP, it's gonna be a little more. But I didn't want to, I know it's gonna stretch my money, so I had to just bought a ticket for the women's bodybuilding, physique, and other divisions finals on that Friday, and that was like I just took regular seats because if I paid for VIP for either one, it's going to be almost altogether $140. So I just paid for regular seats for the finals. That's like $60. All right, and then eating. I ate a couple of times, did a couple of Ubers, and and David gave me a ride to the train. And I left that Saturday afternoon. One thing about when you take a train, especially. You have to. I was at the train station in Savannah. That's where when I went my first vitamin show, the same train station I was at when I went to Savannah. When I went to Savannah Pro, I'd sit there for about 6 hours for the train to go to Tampa, and we had at least about 5 or 6 stops before we finally got to Tampa because it was the end of the line. Train had to back up and then back out, and then on the way back, I had to wait another 6 hours again. For the train to go back to South Carolina so I can get back home. And you have to sit down because like I said, I only get paid once a month. I was always saving money for get my car work done, but then with the guy, so what, I'm done with that car. I got some extra money. I'm gonna go run down there, hang out, and enjoy myself and hang out and help my friend Eunice. And that was great for me. Right now, I'm trying to save a little money because she's planning on maybe going to another show. And I want to hang out and maybe get some chance to do interviews because that was an opportunity for me because I got more interviews that month. I reached out to some more people. I got to meet Alex, at the shout out to Alex. He really, really helped me out some stuff. He he tagged me some stuff, and also he helped me. He was one also reach out to Ashley Jones when when she did that promo for me, and also I'd like to go to I'd like to go to the Olympia. I was hoping that I was planning on maybe moving it. I said maybe I move back to Orlando. Okay, because Orlando's not too far. I can yeah. But then they say just move it to another motel in Las Vegas. So right now I got a 2-year plan because I know if I want to go to a show, because they say tickets for nosebleed seats is $350. That's just like the nosebleed seats, and
Wow.
and like one thing is I'm planning on next year is I'm going to try to get myself a real ID, because you can't go on planes now without a real ID. So I just got to go and get my birth certificate from the courthouse. I used to have a Social Security card, but the old one, one time I washed my wallet by accident, and the old one turned apart, so I had to reapply for another one. And just go to make an appointment to the DMV. Bring, I think you're supposed to say you have to have 2 form IDs, which you have your addresses like my light bill or rent, and then take it up there. And all they do is put the little red star on my ID so I can go on a plane. And I'm kind of shaky about planes, but I know it's not easy to get there, because some places trains don't go there, and you ever went on a bus, that's a long trip, and it's not.
Yeah, George, Rolando, you ever thought about wanting to go to a show?
Yeah, I want to plan on going. Well, that's why I wanted to hit you up or Royce up. I said, well, if I see Royce again on your channel, I said I want to, because I gotta go, man. I just gotta go. Even if it's just going, just to experience it. I'm not gonna be desperate enough, and I just want to experience it.
Well, Rolando, you live in San Francisco, right?
Yeah,
So
Bay Area.
You're not too far from Anaheim. If they have the Grand Prix next year, should be your show you want to test. You're not too far from Anaheim, are you? How much?
I'm in the Bay Area.
It's like an 8-hour drive from.
So you might just take a flight.
Yeah.
Close to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a flight.
Yeah. So if you want to, there's some many of the shows that you want. They're not going to have women's bodybuilding, but they will be women bodybuilders there, because they're either coaches or friends for competitors, like division like wellness. There will be shows where maybe have men's classes, but there will be competitors there because they're friends or they're coaching or clients that are doing the shows.
Yeah, and even if it's to meet some good, some people that I've always, fanned over or whatever. Yeah, that'll be great, man. That'll be great. Yeah.
Just
let me play this on video. Like, I'm gonna play, and then whatever.
I have a controversial opinion that I'd like to share with the class real quick. I have not once seen a bodybuilder successfully date someone who's not a bodybuilder / living the bodybuilding lifestyle. And before you run to the comments and you're like, oh no, me and my boyfriend, oh no, me and my girlfriend, I have a few stipulations. Number 1, I think if you met the person before you started getting really into bodybuilding, I think it can work. Number 2, if you are one of those people running to the comments and telling me how it's successful, you have to share one thing that you've really struggled with in the relationship, because I know you have, and how you guys worked through it. Because I'm just a curious girl. My boyfriend is a bodybuilder, and even during this prep, having him understand the lifestyle and understand the meals and the training and the cardio, we still struggle. We lost our weekly date night as soon as my cheek got pulled, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but I feel like most couples take for granted that you can just kind of plan something spontaneous together. Once you're in prep, it doesn't work that way.
That's true, because many ladies I've known, who are still with their husbands because they love them, support them. Yes, you're gonna have some cases where some ladies, or men, or more like women who are bodybuilders and their husbands doesn't a bodybuilder. It changed the aspects of the relationship, because that also inspired them to get in shape. They don't want to compete, but they will get in shape. But you have to be willing and wanting to stick with that person as they're making this change. In most cases, some guys don't, because me and Kaale have to interview some ladies told me that they got divorced because they got the bodybuilding.
But I don't blame the guy for leaving, because you know, it because the man's supposed to be the head, and it's like you're following the woman, you know, because I've heard a woman, and I was interviewing somebody, and she was, I was saying this earlier, that, you know, she was saying that somebody, the person that I'm being with, they gotta follow my program. And I'm like, I don't know about all that, you know. I don't want to just be like focusing on you and everything is you, because that's what I see a lot of times, especially even with these fans. They just focusing on these women all the time. You know, it's almost kind of annoying a bit, like in a way. You know, I mean, to each his own, but it's like maybe I'm seeing a reflection of myself, because there was times I would just be kind of like what's the word, a pedestal or something like that, and that's what you just, idolizing, and it's like you get tired of just doing that, and it's like all the attention is just you. So I do understand that. I mean, if the person wants to do it, you know, they willing to tolerate it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad at that neither. But I do understand why other men they can't deal with that, because it's like it's just a focus all on them and stuff like that. So you know, that's my thing.
There are some women who let their husband be their husband. They know they're the wife, and the husband takes care of the home. He supports her what she's doing, like saying he supports him when he does something. Not all women are going to be like that. You're going to have a few here and there, but not all.
But I'm just saying, I do understand that. That's all I'm saying. I understand why they leave them. That's it.
But yeah, I'm saying that. But also at the same time, there are some men who stand by their wives because they saw them go through some things in life and they want to support them. And they want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I'm just saying that, you know, I understand that, because I'm not going to just be like following you all the time. Like it feels like, you know, you're leading me and stuff, and you know, I'm not really feeling that. You know, that's me personally.
It's not like this is the thing about a relationship, and this again is, if you've been in a relationship, it's give and take.
Well, I never been in a relationship where I do know about like a woman just dictating, you know, because I work with women that dictate, and I live with some that dictate too. So I mean, I know a little bit about it, just a little bit, and I don't like it. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's you. But the thing is,
and I'm just saying it, that I'm not trying to be a leader nobody. I don't want to be following nobody. That's all I'm saying.
Didn't you invite me to come on here and get my viewpoint?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just telling you, because you have this thing where you just want to dominate and all that stuff, and that's it.
Did I listen to you? And let me give my viewpoint here. That's why I call it discussion. That's why you have a back and forth. You have a discussion, and you want to get a viewpoint.
Well, you done talk the whole majority of the time. I didn't say anything. That's all I'm saying. I'm talking about my own opinion. I'm talking about my own opinion. That's it.
Hey guys, let's not turn it into like a spat. Let's go back and forth. You know, it's
like I mean, like both sides.
Let's have a little other spat here. Have a little kiss, honey. Mwah. I love you. So,
that's what I'm saying.
But that's the thing is, every relationship is going to be different, and some of these ladies don't ask to be on a pedestal. It's just how some of these guys act, and they'll look for it. But if it happens, why not take advantage of it? You know, that's how it is with women. They would take advantage of a situation. But same thing as men, we do. You know, and some men, they let the lady do what she want to do. And even when you're home, woman's going to tell you, hey, take out the trash, do this, do that. But you do it because that's your wife. You want to keep peace in your home. That's the thing.
And you don't got, and she ain't got to tell you what to do all the goddamn time.
I'll tell you.
I've been through all that, Tim. I'm not doing it because you wanna boss me around. Fuck that.
Hold on. Let's get this. So, Kaale, these muscle women, if they're not gay, if they're heterosexual, they do tend to prefer strong men who are also leaders. They don't necessarily want a guy that they just boss around. But if you expect him to follow you, you have to be strong in some kind of way. I'm not talking about weightlifting strong. It's got to be like moral code, discipline, something like that. Because these women are strong women. They're defying the norms of society to go do their own thing and to build a stronger, more capable physique. So if you expect them to follow your lead, then you have to be showing some kind of a strong work ethic or some kind of like a drive or something that's going to make them be like, I'm going to follow you. Hardly any of them expect for their mate to follow their exact diet and all that type of stuff, unless their mate is also a competitor. I have never met a single muscle woman, female bodybuilder, competitor who expected me to follow their meal plan and all that stuff to a T. Like they know that there's two different wavelengths, and they also understand too, they're pretty empathic. They understand that doing all that extreme dieting and all that stuff, it's not as healthy as people think, because it throws off your hormones, your brain, your moods. You can also affect your sleep, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So they don't necessarily ask for that sacrifice or demand it from people. But that's just, I remember the last date I went on with one, and she was like, I want a man who is actually a strong, capable man, like someone who, if stuff hits the fan, like they're going to be willing to stand up to the call. They don't expect you to be Rambo or anything like that. But they don't necessarily expect the guys to be the ones who are the breadwinners, taking home all the money and all that type of stuff, because they have to do so much just in order to support their own habit, their lifestyle. That's their industry, their habit, their hobby is extremely, extremely expensive. So they're like an Instagram OnlyFans type of girl. They're not necessarily expecting you to just be just raking them all the dough while they just sit and work out all day. Some of them do, but not a lot. Most of them all have to work like a mug.
Yeah.
Royce, you just mentioned my kind of woman.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
And good example that I think about Christina Mendoza's husband, Joey, because he goes to the show, he roots and holler for his wife. Keith was there the last couple of shows when Christina was competing and Joe was there. You can hear him, he was recording, and you can hear Joey in the background. And those men, they also work together as business partners because they run opposing.
Clark.
Yeah, that's when you got to find that person.
I'm about to drop off. Hey, I want to hit y'all up later. I got to get to bed because I got another day of work. So,
all right. Thank you for
it's a good topic.
All right.
Right on. Thanks, Royce.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully I'm gonna get in touch with you if Kaale.
You can ask him for my contact stuff, and then just that message. Because I like going to those things. I plan on going to a strongman event actually in Arlington in a few weeks. Actually, they actually reached out to me because they saw me at the Olympia, and they were like, "Hey, you want to come back and do one of these?" And I was like, "All right, whatever. Sure, I'll do it."
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Hey, yo.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Clark. Thanks.
Okay. But the thing is that these women, they're still women. They still like to have the man to lead the house. And also they do their thing and also them support them. Yeah, there are quite a few that are in a relationship with other bodybuilders. It can be tough, especially if you're on prep together. In some cases, the guy will take a step back and let his wife do her prep. Then he'll switch over. And then sometimes they do it together. They have to walk that fine line because sometimes it's a lot. Because you're training, you're dieting, you can be hangry, you get tired, and still have to work and do this, and then again, quite a few ladies have interviews who do have children, who have kids. They got to go to school, they got to make sure they're taken care of. If they have to go to the show, the kids will go with them. Like when Keith and Tina, they went to they did the Grand Prix Anaheim where Tina competed. Then turn around and Keith, they drove all the way to Reno where Keith competed at Legions, and they made it a family trip. They took the kids with them. It's just like in any relationship, there has to be give and take. And some women don't ask to be the lead, but every now and then they, if something happens with Keith, where he was going through his situation, he was being sick and getting injured and getting hurt, and Tina had to take the lead every now and then because her husband was down. He was in the hospital. She was in Chicago competing, and she wished she was there because but he had to, he was in the hospital, had to recover, and she went on her own. She was actually with another lady who I interviewed who was one of Keith's clients. They hung out and had fun, but she wished she was there. That's the thing with any relationship, especially if you don't have to be a female bodybuilder. You can be, Roy said, CrossFitter, power lifter, like these other ladies that do other sports, like was that situation a while back with her, that Sha'Carri Richardson, she had a domestic violence situation with her boyfriend. Every woman is going to be different. And, yes, you're going to have those women who do have that strong personality that want to be dominant, want to take control of the relationship. But then as a man, that's when we say like, hey, well, I take lead in the relationship. I'm here at the house. We both have our parts to play. As long as we understand how we work and make the relationship work, then that's good. But if you have a woman like that, then yeah, leave on, move. But if you're a man confident in who you are as a man, that woman will respect that.
Yeah, I just have mixed feelings about them at times. So
yeah, that's the thing is, there's nothing wrong with having mixed feelings. Like I said, as long as I've been doing this, and me and ladies have been friends, and they told me stories and everything, and and even like I said, I had gentlemen like long ago. I had a gentleman. This guy, I met him in Tampa. Him and his wife. He's 65 years old. He competes as a pro. His wife just turned pro this year. And they love each other. They're both from two different cultures. He's a white guy from Iowa. She's from Mexico originally. He has two daughters. He's a grandfather, served the country in the Air Force. She has 3 kids. Two daughters stay with him, and her son still lives back in Mexico. She did a couple of shows this year. They did 2 shows together. Actually, did 3 shows together. He did 4, but they did 3 together. They did Tampa together. That's when she did her amateur show. They live in Florida, and he did the pro show. Then she did pro qualify, got a pro card. He signed her up to make her pro debut the same time he was competing in Pittsburgh. Then they go hang out together at Olympia, and then they do Mexico together. That's the thing. It's a good relationship.
Yeah. Anybody else, Brandon? You got something to say, or you got it?
I guess to echo what you were saying earlier too, though, is that you can't afford to be too much of a fan of these women and expect to turn that into a relationship. Like when you were talking about how you see some of these guys that over idolize these women, like those women don't go out with those dudes. The only time that they do is if the dude is paying them as an escort. You will see that where they're basically paying, I don't know, however many thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars in order to be able to go out with them. But it's literally just a transactional thing, almost as if the dude is paying for a session. And I think one of the ways that you step out from being a hardcore fan like that is, in a way, encountering and engaging with these women more on a regular basis, which is hard to do. But when you see them at gyms or at conventions or whatever, and you realize at the end of the day, they're just regular people. They're really no different than a regular woman in terms of personalities and stuff like that. We're just taking a blanket canvas, being like, what separates female bodybuilders or muscle women from regular women. Well, the only thing that separates them is the muscle. That's it. Everything else is pretty much the same. So when you stop looking at them as like a Wonder Woman or a superheroine or as a goddess, because I've heard many dudes call these women goddesses, and it's like, bro, you're making their egos toxic, but then you're also placing these people that you don't even really know on a pedestal where they could be really crappy people, yet because they have muscles and they're beautiful, you think that they're above humanity. So when you start to be around more of them like that, and just like how if you've ever met a real beautiful woman who personality was so bad that it made her ugly instantly, because that's happened quite a few times. It happens with those too. There's some that you see that are super attractive, and then they just have super toxic, trashy personalities, and it's an immediate turnoff. You're just like, oh no. I think that's what helps, ground you when you're around them. And then whenever you're just more laid back and chill, and I think the doors begin to open up for, further relationships or friendships. Sometimes you have to be cool with just being friends with some of them and be like, okay, this is a cool person. She's beautiful, she's muscular and all that, but it's not necessarily meant for me to have a relationship with this person. Doesn't mean we can't be friends though. So.
I mean, like when I was like when I first started like social media, like I would try to be friends with some of them, but like even that, it was back to my mind. It was like, you kind of fantasizing being with them, and and there wasn't like a reality social media like Facebook and all that type of stuff. But then, when I actually see these women, meet some of them, it's not really a big deal. I remember I met Jess Falborn, and we just, we was just talking and stuff, and at first it was like, I remember I introduced myself because I interviewed her, and so she was like, "Do I know you?" And I'm like to myself, "Do you have to know me just for me to just say hi?" But I still, I introduced myself like, "I'm the guy that interviewed you the other time," and then it's like, "Oh, okay." But then then she was talking about her show and all that stuff, and I was listening. And then after a while, I just left, and I mean, I don't know. It's not really so much of a big deal. Like when you do kind of interact with them, there's times that I even start a conversation with another lady, and just saying that, do you compete and stuff, and we started making a conversation from there. But yeah, so I mean, I don't see it as it's always a big deal.
I remember the first time a while back, two ladies who I'm still really cool with them. I got to meet, Marianne Wachowski when she came down here, her and Amanda Schnooks. They came down for Glenn's Amazon Fitness Magazine debut. And we did interviews and talk on social media. And I got to meet them, while I was in Florida. I wish I took some pictures of her while I was there. I got to see Amanda again. We just like, it's like meeting a friend you hadn't seen in a long time. Sometimes, like I said again, like when I went to Savannah and I met Don Salee, and we talked back and forth on social. We don't talk as much as music because I know she's stepping away from bodybuilding. She's focusing on life. We're still trying to keep in contact. So, me ladies I've done interviews with, I got the numbers. I call them every now and then, or they might call me and ask me about something. We keep in contact on IG, where usually that's where I get my connections to. Others, well, we don't. We kept in contact for a bit, but then whatever reason fall off. Maybe because they're focused on what they're doing. It's like anything. You're gonna find people in life that want to stay close to you, want to especially gain friendships. There's some people I call genuine friends.
I don't believe in friendships, but go ahead.
That's a problem. You're gonna even if you enter a relationship with these women, you're basically gonna become friends with them.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe in a woman being friends with them. That I mean, it doesn't work with me. I just
Like,
don't.
What about
you said
Nicole?
you've never
It
been in
just
a
don't.
relationship, right?
What
You said
Nicole?
you've never been in a relationship, right?
No, but Nicole, right now, me and her, she kind of ghosts me, and I ain't like
I'm just
the.
saying that if you really been in a relationship before, you know that at the end of the day, you all are gonna have to, a successful one, you're gonna have to become friends.
Yeah.
It's part of the package.
Yeah.
If you're just with each other just to sleep with each other,
Yeah,
then
it's not-
you're just bed buddies. You're not really in a relationship. So that happens, that happens all the time. But to really be in a true relationship, it comes down to friendship, companionship.
I've tried to be friends with women, and that does not. Only way I'm gonna be friends with a woman is like she old enough to be my mother. That's it. I've been friends. I've been friendly. I've been friends with women that that's old enough to be my mother. Like
for women who are, women I know who as the same age as my mother, but some women who are my age, women who are old as my sister. I mean, or sometimes even younger women, because you know what? It's the thing about women. When they feel comfortable with a man, like I said again, I worked with women for a long time. I worked 13 years in textile with women. I worked 7 years in strip club with women. Women, when they feel comfortable with a man, and they feel like if it's not nothing more than just, hey, somebody they can talk to, somebody can lean on. You're not looking for sex. Like some ladies, a couple ladies I did have some sexual relationships with. But then, we just became friends because there wasn't nothing more than that. It's just about.
I don't see that. I mean, I don't really like what we gonna talk about, like as friends. I don't see that.
Look at how all of us are talking right now. We're talking basically kind of as friends. Like that's what happens with. There's been plenty of situations where, as a matter of fact, there's a girl that I go to the movies with almost every week. We started out sleeping with each other and all that, and then it transitioned into, hey, I like hanging out with you. We don't need to have sex. Like, we can just go to the movies together. And we actually enjoy that, like, a lot. So that is not a foreign concept. And if you can't ever have a conversation with a woman, that means you're not getting with cool women, first off, because there's lots of women in the world who are fun to be around. Or like you may be just putting so much of the expectation on, I can only hang around you if I'm having sex with you, that where you're not being fun for them. Because there's a lot of girls out there, even super beautiful ones, that do want to have sex, but they want to know if they can be comfortable around you first before they do all that.
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying, but I don't believe. I just don't. I don't believe in that.
That's your right.
Believe in it.
That's your right not to believe it. But again, that's how it is sometimes. It's not going to go the way you want it to go.
Well, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Stop trying to make it seem like I gotta believe it. I don't believe it. I've been friendly with some of them, and it does not work out with me. That's it. That's it.
Hold down, brother. Hold down, brother.
Yeah, George was not insinuating anything. I'm with George on this. He wasn't. He was bringing up a good point.
It's fine if you're not ready with that. It's fine, but everybody's going to be different. Everybody's not you. I'm not you. I'm me. Royce is himself. He has a friend. They're still friends. They had sex. They did this. I said I got me also. I had sex with ladies with who? Some ladies we don't even. There was one lady I know we hadn't talked in years. But sometimes if she sees me, we'll talk and say hello. We'll put you on social media. Everybody's gonna be different. That's what
I'm just friendly with them, but I'm not friends with them like that. I just not there. I could be friendly, but I'm not friends with them. I don't believe in that.
Cases where friendships will grow from, because you have
that's a bunch of dog shit. I just don't believe that they never happened to a point where I'm just being friendly. Yeah, I've been friendly with some women. Like it ain't like like I ain't never had a conversation with them, but not to a point where, oh, that's my friend. Nah, I don't believe in that shit. I just don't. I see it. It just don't. It don't mix. I don't see that shit. I don't even have that many male friends like that. I have friends. I have some male friends. You know what I'm saying, but not like that. This male, that's cool with me. But not with the women. I'm not. It doesn't mix with me like that.
I don't have a lot of male friends either. I don't have as many women friends, but if there's people who I'm cool with you, I'm comfortable with you, and I want to bond with you, yes, we have gained a friendship, especially doing this content, where these ladies sometimes, the everyday person don't understand what they're about. When they sit and tell you their story, that's why I enjoy doing my interviews. When someone like Maria, who I talk to, she's a beautiful young lady. We talk, have a good conversation. When I just reposted a clip from one of our videos. She likes it. When every woman's going to be different, you're going to want a woman want to use you for something, and you're going to want a woman to say, you know what, I like what you're doing, I like what you're saying. Is keep in contact with you. They're like a lady who I finally got to meet. We've been friends for a long time on social media. We got to meet, we talk. She often sometimes she reach out to me and say, what's going on? She, we keep in contact. She even reach out and say, hey, we're gonna do your next podcast. Well, I got some coming up in a few days. You want to jump on it? Say yeah, because sometimes she might ask me when I'm gonna do it. Say, well, let's see how your schedule works. Say, well, I'm kind of busy. I can't do it here, but when you get whatever, let me know. Like the other day when I had Randy and Wendy on, and they want to do it because they want to talk about what they go through. And that's the thing is, when they find somebody who understands who they are as a woman. These are two ladies who survived cancer, and they want people to share their stories. When they find somebody who really are open to listen, and again, they do like some things like to have friendships because you know what, they've been in relationships. They can find another guy. And I think if it's not going to be you, hey, that's it. But they might know somebody. Hey, I know I got a friend. She's kind of like you in your personality. You might like her, and she hooks you up. That's sometimes it's good to have a wing woman just as much as a wing man.
No, I don't believe it. I just don't believe that shit. I don't believe it.
George is right about the whole wing woman thing.
And that's cool, but I just don't believe it. I just like George got his experience, I got my experience. I never dealt with like that. Nah, man.
We're not you, but you know how you feel and what you want. That's truth of it. That's it. There's no point. We're not gonna ever convince you. But again, every person's gonna have different experience in life. Like I said, when I was young, I got heartbroken. I did too. But then that's the thing is, from those experiences, you grow and you gain. And that's the thing is, and then when you meet people who are genuinely good people, yes, you're gonna have every now and again. You'll have your snakes and your backstabbers. But then you meet genuinely good people who are interested in maybe helping you out. Like some ladies will hook me up with somebody. Hey, I got a friend. She might want to do an interview. Okay, I appreciate that. Or they let me know some stuff that on the side that, as long as I keep the confidence, I don't tell the business out there, they get trust that, hey, when you tell me something, I'll keep it to myself. I don't let anybody know. And that's the thing. It's about trust also.
Okay, like not the, but there's some instances where, I was friendly with some women, like with one woman, and she hooked me up with this job. And that's the type of relationship I have with her. Like we're friendly, we'll say like small things and stuff like that, but not like to a point where we're gonna be hangout buddies and stuff like that. But that's just my experience. I'm not saying that I haven't been with like women that just being friendly with, but like to just say like we're just gonna be hanging out and nah, yo, I don't believe in that, man. I don't believe that.
Well, that happens, especially if you ever know somebody you grew up with as a child, as a girl, but you kind of, she's almost like a sister to you. I ain't
never had those. I ain't never had that.
I had quite a few of those. There's some women I grew up around with. We grew up friends. We went to school together, hanged out. We didn't do anything more. We were friends because we grew up in the same area. Women have a preference. That's the truth of it. They would prefer a certain type of man they go for, as much you might prefer a certain type of woman. and it may not be her, and it may not be you. It's about, like I said again, these women, especially don't have to be bodybuilders, just women in general. When women feel like they can trust a man and feel like he's somebody that can, like, okay, if things get rough and they feel like, need somebody to lean on, and hey, I just need somebody to talk to, or just need somebody to, maybe hold my hand every now and then. We don't have to be in the bed spooning, we don't have to wake up in the morning in a warm shower and eating breakfast together. They just want somebody just to, as any woman, even if it's just,
yeah, I can't do that to no woman. It just say my thoughts and all that crazy stuff. She gonna just look at me like what's wrong with him? I
but
mean,
then
come
that's
on,
Yeah, I
man.
think you're
on the
killing. I think
woman.
you're killing some of your opportunities if you have
Yeah,
that mentality, though.
yeah,
There's just gonna come a day where you're gonna have to encounter some women who say need a shoulder to lean on. They have a rough day or something like that. They want someone to talk to, and you can't even necessarily give them any guidance, but you just listen to them.
Mhm.
And that bit of bonding for some is enough to eventually lead them up to be like, you know what, I want to take things further to where now I'd want to go on dates or whatever, like with this guy. It doesn't all start out like in the dating world, per se, but to expect it to be where every time I meet this woman, all we're gonna do is have sex and then go on our own ways. Usually, that's a transactional based relationship where you're just paying money to, basically have sex with her and then move your own way. Very rare that you're just gonna find a girl organically and just be like booty call all the time.
yeah,
Um, there's dudes that like to pretend like they have lifestyles like that, and some do, but it's very rare. And even I knew a guy who kind of had that, but even then, he had plenty of girls, like even strippers, who would come over and hang out with us because we'd be playing Madden or something like that. And beautiful strippers sometimes come over and just hang out, just to talk to him. They would dump some of their drama out to him, and he wasn't, having sex with them. But with the others, he would. But he still had to have those times where, hey, with some women, I just have to basically be their friend.
yeah.
And he even told me, he was like, look, man, it's like you can't, because I used to look at him as like a player and all that, but he's just like, it's not it's not what on the surface you think it is. There is no like, oh, I just get to go and have sex with women all the time whenever I want to, and then there not be some kind of a trade-off or anything like that.
Yeah, I remember quite a few times when I worked at the club, and I was going to school studying massage therapy, and one of the girls says, "You study massage therapy?" Yeah, yeah. Well, I got a little thing in my shoulder, and we just, and she's sitting in my lap, and I'm giving a massage, and she's hugging on me, and she kissed me and thanked me and gave me a few bucks. And then the other girls started seeing it, and some of them say, hey George, what you doing right now? I mean, I'm not doing anything, I'm just chilling. Well, you think you can give me a little massage here, and just, oh George, you got some nice hands. And sometimes we standing there holding each other and talking, have a conversation. Women, like I said again, when they feel like I would joke around saying, well, I'm trying not to look down your shirt, and you laugh because it's funny, because you know what, women like to have someone they feel comfortable with. And some of these women have husbands and boyfriends. Some of them have
I
girlfriends.
can't do it. I
You
can't
know,
do it.
yeah. I say, I know that's you can't do it, but everybody's situation is different. That's why I say that everybody's different. Like I said again, some of these ladies, like right now, I just got a thing from a lady. She's from Germany. Remember that lady I interviewed a while back? The German chick with the nice pecs, Julia. Her friend just did a show. I tagged her in something. She said, "Tag you back," and said, "Thank you." Because I don't know I don't think she speaks German. I don't think she speaks English that well. I would love to do anything with her, but I know her girlfriend might do translation for us. It's just women really feel comfortable with a man, and especially if you promoting them and talking about them, and they respond and they appreciate it. Like they're like again with what Ashley Jones did when she said, "Hey, thank you, Mr. George, I appreciate that." Or when Andrea sent me the magazine, the autograph. When women feel like you appreciate what they're doing and who they are, they will return the favor by showing you support and love. But you got to be open to it. You can't be too guarded. You know, it can't be, too tight because it's like, it's not approachable. Like you watch my interviews when we have conversations where, like I don't sit down and have a bunch of extra questions. I tell like this, when we do an interview, it's like being on the first date. I want to answer somebody.
I mean, Doris, okay, what was I about to say? What I was about to say? You know a lot about bodybuilding more than me. So I mean, like, all I could do is ask some questions, and then if it's something that I could talk about, I'll make a conversation. I'm not like, like I'm gonna just be talking and talking and talking. I'm not like that. If there's to a point where I could make a conversation to some on something, I'll make a conversation. But if I'm just like, just trying to like ask the question, I'm just feeling the person out. Like, what do they do? Because a lot of these women, it's not easy trying to like understanding them, especially the stuff that they do. It's different. I'm not a bodybuilder. You're not a bodybuilder.
I know I'm not a bodybuilder.
Listen. All I'm just saying that I'm not at the level of doing something. You know what I'm saying? All I can do is like, hey, what do you like to do? You know what I'm saying? And then if they like to say they like art, I do this, like, I do animation and all this stuff like that. We're making to a conversation. So I mean, it's nothing wrong with me asking questions. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying nothing wrong with it. You have your style, I have mine. That's why I say this. My style is when I go have a conversation, yes, I know about bodybuilding, but it took me time. I've been doing this for a good bit. And I had my faults, I had my stumbles. But like I said, it's a process like anything. You learn, you evolve, you understand, you figure out. And then when you find something like as you know, I have a pacemaker. And when I was talking with Randy, she had a heart attack. We have something in common. We've both been through some issues. You always find little things in conversation that you share with somebody. Even though, yes, again, I'm not a bodybuilder. Like you said, you're not a bodybuilder. I'm not a bodybuilder. But I understand the aspects of the sport, from following for as long as I have, from watching the competitions, reading the magazines, and the conversation they're having with the ladies on the side of what they tell me, what they go through. Everybody's style is going to be different. And then, like I said, also, again, when women feel comfortable with you, that's the thing is, when a woman feels comfortable with you, they'll tell you everything you need to know. That's basically it. It's something, like I said, again, I grew up with 3 sisters, a mother. I worked in textile with women all day. I mean, and I worked the strip club all night. Every woman's going to be different. And each woman's going to share their experience when they feel comfortable with sharing it. And when they tell you some stuff, it gives you information. You can use it even when you meet another woman. You might be attracted to it. You might use information from them because you might know, like you might have a friend. They've been through something like that. You say, hey, I understand, because a friend of mine went through that. The thing is, you have to be open and willing, and they have to be willing and wanting to talk.
Yeah, it's up to them. That's it. I mean, that's all I can say. But I don't believe in that friendship stuff. I mean, yeah, you could be friendly, and that's it, man. I mean, I don't know, because I see it as, because I'm looking at it, as a badge at times, because like, I noticed that a lot of guys, they say they claim to be friends, but they're really attracted to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, tell me that. Like, how? Like, what's the science on that?
That's just men being men.
There's no science on that. That just happens.
Biology.
All the time. Like, you can be friends with someone, and sometimes, what's funny? I don't think you've had this experience though, but this happens quite a bit, where you might start out with a girl and maybe she's some level of attraction, but not enough to get you aroused or anything. Mm-hmm. But then you start talking to her, or she's funny or something like that. And then as you're getting to know more of her personality, it can actually cause you to be more like, oh, dang, I'm really I'm starting to become attracted to her. Like that does happen quite a bit. Um, it it it's not always like, boom, I saw this girl, she was super fine, and now we went and went on a date, started banging, and that's how we have our relationship. That doesn't happen all the time. I think movies make it seem like that, but there's been several girls where now it is harder for me to lower my bar to be attracted to non-muscular women, but I've dated several just regular girls before, and um, and slowly just through talking with them or seeing their quirks and stuff like that, it just kind of like waking something, wake something up, and then it's like, dang, like I'm really now interested in her. I'm kind of like you though. I don't do long-term relationships that well, and it's just because of my anxious avoidant type of personality. It's not. I used to think it was because of the girls or the changes in modern women, but I've just come to realize, oh, it's just really me as a person. I'm too picky, and I have too high of a bar that I set. But
Yeah, I understand that.
but I still will. I've allowed myself now to, with even certain girls I'm not attracted to, they don't meet that high bar. I'll be like, you know what? If she wants to hang out, I'm still down to do that. Like, she likes me enough to want to feel comfortable to, say do something like go to a movie or whatever like that. I'm down. And then when you start to see those certain positives, like, hey, this person's really fun, and they're really observant about this, or they're helping to shed light on certain things, especially when it comes to other women. Like when George was talking about the whole lady as a wingman thing, that is that is a very huge secret superpower or sidekick. Because I've had it a few times with girls who were gay, like gone to clubs with them, and they have no interest in me. I have no interest in them, but they'd see certain girls that I was interested in, and they'd be like, it was so much easier for them to open the door with any random girl at a club to basically bring them over. I had much more success sometimes when one of them would go and speak to a girl on my behalf. Not saying that I don't have game, I do, but even with all the game in the world, there's just certain girls that have their guard up super, super hard, and it's hard for you to break that barrier. But it's a much easier for, say, a girl who's your friend to go and kind of do that. And a lot of times, girls seeing you with another girl, it opens up some jealousy in some of them, or it makes them think that, oh, this dude must have something cool going on about him because he has this other girl with him that's his friend. So that does keep girls' interest quite a bit.
Yeah, and sometimes people can be jaded if you've been in a bad relationship, and it breaks your faith in people and make you jaded a bit. And that's how it's done. Like I said, I've been around with girls that didn't like me because I didn't have a particular thing about them. So I thought the issue was me, but the issue was them. So I had to move on and focus. Like I said, other than maybe when I went to Savannah, went to Tampa, or then there was the Glen thing. I barely. This is the last 2 years. This is an opportunity I got to meet female bodybuilders. I mean, and because I started doing this content, and some ladies who see my stuff saying I still go back to this one, and I know he hates this one. When a while back I did a video where it was one of my comparison videos, and one of the ladies who I compared her with another lady, she said, "I like the way you talk about us, but you didn't over sexualize it. You talked about us, our physiques, and you talk about how we were like this and that, but you didn't go like, oh yeah, she got some big, beautiful blah, 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 blah." When women feel that you talk about them in a respectful way, but still also realizing, yeah, I'm saying like, you're a beautiful lady, you're attractive, you're nice, I like you, yeah. And they genuinely like that. It's being complimentary. They love that.
This person he referring to, they showcase themselves a lot, and I'm gonna show you who it is. But they showcase themselves a lot to a point that they gonna be sexualized. I'm sorry, they gonna be sexualized. They put themselves out there. I mean, like, like I don't know what to tell you. Like they put themselves out there to be sexualized. I mean, it's their life. I'm not going to like condemn them or nothing like that. But they're gonna get reactions to that. Like you can't tell me that they not. Like like yo, come on, man. Like they you can't tell me that they not. You know it and I know it. They gonna be sexualized. They gonna be sexualized. Somebody gonna be lusting over them. They make videos. They make songs that are being sexualized. A lot of these women, they do that shit. They put themselves out there. And that's cool, but they gonna get that. They gonna get that shit. Ain't no that dudes they gonna take them seriously.
But don't they think they know that? They do know.
Yeah, and that's what they. And for her to say that, it's crazy. It's her to say that.
It's not the issue. It's not why because it's not because like I said, they're not in a relationship with you.
And all right then, but you throwing it as a badge. You throw that as a badge, knowing that they put themselves out there. That's the thing. They put themselves out there, but they still solicit themselves. They solicit themselves. They're gonna get that. They're gonna get that.
You can't sit back and they know the repercussion of it, but you can't sit back and not. You know what? Let me take a chance. Let me use what I got.
So I'm gonna be this person. They're gonna be sexualized.
And you know what I'm saying? So why is it a big thing about it? I'm not gonna think about it. I've talked about.
You the way you saying it like you like I didn't. Oh my God, bro!
They know. The women know. Like I said again, I worked in a strip club. Women know.
We heard the story. We heard the story, man. Well, let's play another video. That's all.
If you're in a relationship with a woman that leads most of the time, tells you what to do, she's more in her masculine energy, kind of head of the household, doesn't really trust you to do small tasks, and you're like, I'm ready to take charge. Ashley, I am ready to take charge so that I am not being pushed around anymore because I feel demasculated in this relationship. What do? I'm going to tell you this. Listen to my words. It is going to be very difficult for you to change the dynamic of that relationship because she is in a controlling masculine state. And what needs to happen is that you are given the opportunity to make changes and prove yourself. I know that sounds silly, but to prove yourself that you can take care of the family and do little things so that over time it builds up into bigger things that she now knows she can trust that you can take care of without her having to do anything. The problem is these women have a very tough time of not leading and taking control because they have done it for so long and they don't trust you to take care of the family or small tasks, which is pathetic. But the likelihood that you can change this is very, very low. And it's probably going to take A, therapy, but B, her to relinquish control to give you the opportunity to prove through small little tasks, meaningless tasks, that you can get things done. But the second hand to that is if you do these tasks, the likelihood that she's going to judge how you did it, when you did it, and criticize you in some way, shape, or form for that is very, very high as well. So I would say, if it was me, you're probably not going to be able to change it, or there's going to be a small chance that you can, but therapy is going to be your only way out of that because it comes down to a lot of control issues with the woman and maybe more complacent, feminine energy, like let's go with the flow on your end, and it's gone on too long and you probably need some help. But the likelihood is very, very low.
And that's somebody voicing their opinion. They just, that's the thing. don't take somebody like that, especially she looks like she's still wet behind the ears and breasts like Similac. You know, she has got her experience and what people say. That's the thing is, most of these things I don't even waste time listening to. I listen to them; they're nice to listen to, but I don't really take it as seriously because I have my life experience. Like I said, I'm 50 years old. I'll be 51, and I have done things, been things, not as much as other people, and I have grown from my experiences. But when somebody like that tells you this and that, women are always going to have different perspectives and different thoughts. What separates men and women are our experiences in life. Some women are going to go through hard times. Some women are going to go easy. Same with men. It's about how you deal with them. And again, about the thing is about who's the woman you're talking about. Who you say you're going to show her? Who was it?
You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about because I know you. Yeah, because I've seen that. I see that interview. I was like, oh, okay, that's the person. I know who you was talking about.
I got a lot of interviews. I'm trying to remember.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Iron Fire. That's all I gotta say. Iron Fire.
Well, why do you care about those videos, Kaale? Because you already said you're not really going to be in a relationship with these girls. So it's like,
no, I'm just saying he always saying that like about this particular person, and I'm like, yo, she solicit. I'm not going to use the word. She kind of showcase herself like for somebody to take her seriously, and that's her business. But I'm just saying, like, if you don't want people to look at you like a meat, don't put yourself out there. That's all I'm saying.
We go to a show or a movie or you see, they have to advertise themselves. These people, they have to make their money. And the thing they have is their image and their look and their body. That's what it is. If that person does that, that's what they do. They're a different person.
Yeah. I'm just saying the way you be saying it, like, oh, like she's not gonna be looked at as a piece of meat. That's what I'm picking up. That's what I pick up. Like somebody is gonna like reality check. They gonna look at her as a sexual object more than she's a person.
We all know that because we're human beings. But then we get to know the person. You're not going to see them as much as sexual if you get to know the person. Now, if they assume that I did that, I'm a sexual object, they put it out there. That's them.
Yeah, but if there's a lot of guys that don't know her. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't waste too much time hanging up on it. It's like
okay, all right. I'll leave it alone.
That's that person. Like I said again,
but you be talking about that. You bring that up a lot.
I bring it once in a while because that's an example of how when someone sees something that I did and they appreciate it and they let me know, that tells me I'm doing good work and I appreciate that. When they give me their feedback, when ladies say, "Well, I just watched our interview together, I really like how you made me feel." Sometimes after the interview, we have a good discussion afterwards. We talk about other things that we didn't talk about in the interview. That's the thing with women. Again, when they feel comfortable with you and they feel like, you know what, you're not the type of person who's going to run around and tell everybody this. Like, you know how this, like, we're like, okay, like this. When a guy gets with a girl and she's the best sex in the world, he say, nah, she's all right, guys. She's all right. But a woman gets with a man and he's the best, she tells all her girlfriends. And the women were going after him. Like this how somebody say like this. A guy would see another guy with a girl and said, I want a girl just like her. But a woman would see a girl with a man, I want him. But everybody is going to be different. And like I said again, when I get good feedback from these ladies, like when I see someone say one time I had a woman say, oh, I don't like you talking about me. Okay, cool. I won't talk about you. Forget you. I'll move on. But then when I see someone like a good example, I want to put up a name, Alicia Young. When she got into an accident a while back, and I talked about it, I said, I really thank you for support and I appreciate that. When they see that, like I said, my channel is still growing. I'm over 3,000 subscribers. But then when I I'm going to start following you because I really like your content. I really like your work. I really like how, you talk about us, but still also, you dabble into the fun part of it. Yes, if like when I do my interviews, yes, I flirt a little bit because hey, sometimes ladies like to have a little flirt. Like yeah, how you doing? Like if I tell you have a great body count, you hold it against me, and we laugh because we have a good conversation. Again, when they feel like you're someone they feel comfortable with, they let their guards down.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. Anybody got any comment on that video showcase?
Well, it's not even worth my time on. She's just like I said again. She looks like she's whipped behind the ear, breath like Similac. So a lot of these girls like to put all this stuff. She's not a psychologist. She's not anybody. It's not really, again, not even worth even thinking about it. It's not.
Yeah, I don't think these TikTok videos are the best when it comes to these girls are speaking as if they're speaking for all muscle or fit women, and they really aren't. Like when you see how young they are and how inexperienced and all that, they're just and then they're also kind of acting, they're projecting. It's not worth it to really try to dissect it, or if you're a guy to be like, oh, this is what these type of women want. No, because go and talk to several of them, you'll find many that'll be like, no, that girl doesn't know what she's talking about, or she can't speak for me, So
yeah, because like I said, she hadn't. I like I said again, she's probably maybe 20 or 30. I've lived at least 20 or 30 years longer than her. Seen things, done things, been things. And a person like that cannot tell me, I'm gonna say this, jack shit.
And no, I just displayed it, just to talk about it. Like I don't agree with what she was saying because I'm not gonna like convince a woman that to kind of like follow me and give me the opportunity to lead the relationship. I wouldn't just waste my time on that.
That's the thing, women, they want you because they want a man to lead. That's a natural. Women do have their own things, but
no, I'm saying convince. I'm not going to convince her. Like if like to a point where she's being too masculine, I wouldn't want to be with a person like that.
If you feel like that, if she gets too masculine, then you move on. But she feel like she wants you to be the head of the household. She wants you to be the man. She will want you that. You have to prove that to her.
I don't have to prove that to her. Like it's up to her if she wants to be with me or not.
Women want to feel safe when with their man, and if they feel like you can, step up, and say, "Hey, let me do this for you, baby. Let me take care of this for you, baby." But also, in the turn, they also help you because the fact is, if you're doing something for her, she'll do something for you. It's a give and take. That's relationship.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that. I understand that. But at the same time, I don't have to prove myself to you, for you to like me. That's it.
The thing
is for you to respect me.
You do.
Well, you do have to, because that's every human being. Every human being is, no matter what you think, we're all judging each other. So you do have to prove through your actions and your behavior, your worth to other people. Now, they may not see or value you properly, so that may be just a perspective issue. But especially when it comes to muscular women, because there's so much judging stuff based on appearance with their own body, they are.
Then the hell with them. Then the hell with them. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can talk.
You're the one who brought the subject about relationship. You're the one who brought the subject about being in relationships with everybody. This is the thing. You started this. And understand now you don't like the feedback. You thought everybody's going to be like, no, there's both sides to every story. And if you're a man, and some of these ladies, they are being judged because they're telling like, you're not feminine enough because you put on muscle. Because they're not trying to be masculine. They are competing in the sport where they love and have a passion for. And they still like to be like, they like to have a man to sit and just say, baby, they hold your hand, rub your feet, talk to you. They like the things that women like. And in turn, they're saying they cook your meal, they make sure you're taken care of. It's a give and take. You're looking at them as muscle women, but they're still women. Women like to be with a man that knows he's a man. And the same thing is that we see women like they might have deep voice like they're Vin Diesel, but they still like to be hugged and cuddled, you know. And again, you one who brought up the subject. When you bring up something, like I teach you my young Padawan, young master.
No, don't say that Padawan shit like I'm your student. I'm not your student. Stop that bullshit. I learned, there's things I learned from you and vice versa, but don't do that, man. Don't send me like that. Fuck out of here with that.
Don't be like that, baby.
Man, fuck out of here with that. I know. I brought up this issue because I seen like videos. It was something to do, and that was it. But
well, here's the thing too, bro. You really let's not lie to ourselves. If you like muscle women so much, the truth is, at the end of the day, you want to be in a relationship with a muscular woman. Now, does it mean a long-term one? You don't know until you actually are into one. But we wouldn't be looking at these women. I wouldn't be drawing them so much and going to these events if I wasn't interested in actually being around one on a more consistent basis than just, I see them on the internet. So there is that desire that I think all of us have. The truth is, though, you're not going to be with any of them if you don't ever, as Georgia said several times, play the whole give and take game. You have to. This is how all human beings get along with each other. Even if you're just friends, there's certain things that your friends do that you don't like, but you still put up with to be around them because they're your friends. So it's more so that the way when it comes to dating or being in a relationship with a muscle woman. So I'm just, from what I'm hearing though, especially with the how I guess upset you get when people kind of disagree with you, it's going to be hard to have that type of impatience around an actual muscular woman, because a lot of them they can be pretty impatient too, and defensive. And if you get really super angry and defensive because they disagree with you on something, then you're not gonna ever get to sleep with one if you have that type of
and that's okay. I live with it.
You say that at first, but you never know when it's about timing and also conversation.
Yeah, I try to be celibate right now. I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you this, I know it sounds like I'm bragging a lot, but the truth is, after having sex with muscle women is better than they're better than regular women, man. To me, they are not super hard. This whole idea that they're all super hard, that is not true at all. Because they're women and they have extra layers of fat over them. First off, I never had sex with one that was like getting ready to compete for a show. I would never want to because that's too hard. But when they're off season and stuff, they are basically like just firm pillows. I mean, they feel amazing, man.
Yeah, buddy.
It's even just giving one a hug is way better than a regular girl. So I don't know, man. I like sometimes in Kaale, just to be able to even get hugs with some of them, you have to be like, you know what, we're just friends. So I see you, and
I got a hug from some of them. I mean, it's not.
I got saw Ashley. Oh my God, her, Sharonica. I got to see Eunice, me, Christina, a couple of ladies.
I got to give Christina a hug too. I was that actually made my day that day. I was like, oh, you talking about Christina? Christina Mendoza.
No, I'm talking about Christina Ware. I ain't never met Christina Mendoza. The one I'm talking about, Christina Ware.
Amazing.
Christina Ware, that's what I'm talking about. She's a nice lady too. And it's just like, and you got to remember, these ladies are not rock hard all season. They are off season.
Right.
They are nice and soft and feminine. Their face gets fulled out. They have, they still have that muscle. You can feel it. But when you, like I said, like any woman, like, I had a picture with Isabel Terrell. You saw Isabel Terrell. She was on my left side. I'm trying not to stare.
Yeah, because Isabella is curvy. She is super curvy.
Not more. She's just titties. Truthfully, I mean, it's like, when you get to see some of these ladies up, like, and you get to talk to them, and they're generally nice ladies. Yes, every now and then you're gonna deal with some assholes. Yes, every now and then you're gonna deal with some women who are, questionable in behavior. But then there are those ones who are nice and genuinely nice to talk to. Like, I got to talk to Breonna Terry, and she told me that she was gonna make her debut in Mexico. When I saw a lady we know, Breonna O'Connor, she was there at Tampa, and she said, George, and she's a bikini amateur. She just me hugging, she's wagging, smile, just she's a married woman, so, and she has a nice little boy, but it's all about the woman and how she feels comfortable with you as a man. And like I said, you know what? You do have to prove yourself a bit. And when you prove that, the fact that you are, hey, a man, I like you, I want to get to know you. And they want to say, yeah, I want to get to know you too. But then, again, sometimes relationships don't last forever. And again, I've been with some women that, hey, we weren't in relationships, we had relations, we had a good time, we did our little thing, and then, hey, we became friends. And, and every now and then we might, do a little something, it happens.
Yeah, just because become friends doesn't mean that there aren't times when you're gonna. Sometimes, like you say, like y'all get in the mood. It's the full moon is out, and then things get to popping. That does happen quite a bit. So
sometimes there might be she might want to scratch because you get tired of scratching it. That's the thing. Again, everybody's going to be different in the experience when they get with somebody. And if you're looking for a relationship, understand you get into a relationship with somebody who's disciplined, committed, and they're focused on their goals. And sometimes they may not have the time for you as you want it. If you're not ready for that, best advice is find yourself a regular girl
I could find a regular girl. That's not a problem. I wouldn't mind finding a regular girl. And even they're paying the ass. But I'm not, with the female bodybuilders, I'm not trying to prove myself to them to a point where, like I gotta be accepted to you. If they don't like me, they don't like me. That's it, man.
That's good. But with me, doing this content is good for me to have good relationships. And other times, like again, there's some bodybuilders I'm not a fan of, but I respect what they do as competitors because this is their sport. That's what they do. But the thing is, everybody's going to have something that they find interesting about that person. And then, like I said, just pick up an interview this weekend. I'm talking to one lady for interview also this week, and also me and Eunice, we just a few days ago, she had to go because her mother got hurt and got injured, and she was coming back home. She called me. He said, "Why are you calling me for? I'm not your husband." I said, "Nah, just want to check in." Just I said, "Yeah," because she sees me as her brother, and because she told me like, "George, you remind me of my brother, Alex." I said, "Wow, I mean, it's nice, and that's good." When we got to meet, I hope we get the chance to meet again. You find, and her husband, Mr. Willie, he's a great guy. I mean, he's a nice guy. He even told me that. He said, "Yeah, George, you do remind me of my brother-in-law because how you act and how you behave." And that's good. I have two good friends, both Eunice and Willie. They're a couple. And like I said,
that's pretty nice.
Yeah. And like I said again, I joked with her, said, "Why you calling me? I ain't your man." Say, "I just want to check in, Judge." Just laughing. And that's the thing. I've earned some friendships and I appreciate those friendships. Like I said, I don't have a lot of friends. Most people I grew up with have moved on and moved here. And I don't go a lot of places because, I live in a small town. I'm related to half the town. And there's not a lot to do. But when I get to go someplace like to Tampa or Savannah, and I'm planning on going to the show next year. And also I got a 2-year plan. I'm saving some cash. So I want to go to the Olympia. My thing is I'm hoping in 2027 they do the Masters Olympia in Orlando. If I don't go to Masters Olympia, if it brings the States, I'll go there. If not, I'll go to the main Olympia in Arizona. I just gotta get a real ID and get everything to go. And this is for me because I want to get myself out there in the world. And that's the thing, you gotta put yourself out there too. And once people receive you and they tell you, "Hey, I've seen your stuff, I follow you." And then you have some people that kind of turn your nose at you, say, "Hey, fuck."
Yeah, I'm gonna play this video right now. So.
I'm no longer addicted to bodybuilding, but I've taken on a new addiction. Jesus. The Lauren Powers 10 years ago would have been in the gym 8 hours a day. The Lauren today, I pray or in prayer with friends every day. I have Bible study the second Tuesday of every month. So at least 3 to 5 times a week, I'm at some church function.
Yeah, I just picked that up. I remember this lady. I remember I used to see in the magazines and all that type of stuff.
I remember.
Yeah, so
Lauren Powers was old school.
Yeah, she was on an episode of Arliss. You remember the episode where it was? I think who was it? What was the woman's name? It was Kirby. He had a. It was one of the first few times you ever see a female bodybuilder do a sex scene on television. It was Kirby. Who was it? It was. I used to remember her name. She was a pro, but this was like about. It was. I think it was Lauren Power, her, and Nikki Fuller. And Jack Lane was in the episode, and I think it was Tony Gonzalez, because I forget her name. It's the back of my head. It was fun to watch, seeing, there's one part where she hits the the backboard with her fist, because you don't get to see that often. But Lauren Powell, yeah, because she did competition. She never turned pro. She did sessions and stuff. She did a lot of the you might want to say the beat meat websites like many other ladies, but it was a way to make money, because bodybuilding is an expensive sport. And it's addictive lifestyle. You get into it.
Yeah, I remember I seen like a documentary on this dude. I forgot where he was from, but he spent like a lot of money just to have a session with her.
Well, gentlemen, I gotta go to sleep. It's already about 2:00 on my end of the world.
All right.
I got nothing to do, but like I said, I'm an old man now. I can't be staying up all night with y'all young boys. So I'm gonna say good night to you.
All right.
Get it.
Good night. It was a pleasure chatting. It was fun.
Yeah. Come check me out. Muscle Talk Monday. We'll talk about the subject he started also about, do people want to watch female bodybuilding? And also I got some interviews coming up in a couple of days, and just like I said, just try to keep myself busy.
No hard feelings, George. No hard feelings.
You know what? I'm like this. Like this. I'm gonna quote from one of my favorite movies. Said, I say, "Did you hate me?" Say, "Nah, I don't hate you. I hate you." Well, I always love you.
I just have a different perspective on it. I know I was acting up, but you're
right, because you've been on my channel. I act up too. You know how I do. But also, gotta remember, brother, don't let these ladies have too much power over you. You're the one who has to make a decision for yourself what you want. If you don't want a friendship, that's fine, it's cool. But sometimes you need to miss an opportunity when you do make these friendships. These ladies will appreciate what you're doing. There are truly some women out there who really appreciate it. That's why, like I said, I've done like hundreds of interviews. Some of these ladies I haven't talked to since we did an interview. Some will still keep in contact. I send them something, they send me something, and they, we have a good back and forth. That's a good thing. When women feel comfortable with you and they find that you're the type of person they can trust and rely on, and they can, can lean on your support, they will move heaven and earth. You just have to be willing and wanting. That's it.
I hear you.
All right.
But thank you anyway. Thank you for hopping on. Appreciate it.
You all have Y'all have a good night, brothers.
All right, brother.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up. All right, peace.
Peace.